Tarssis 4. Discovered during the mid-years of the Great Crusade, the Tarssis system entered the Imperial compliance with no resistance. Tarsis 4 was catalogued as a low-grade agri-world with large verdant belts surrounded by desert lands and a single large southern polar cap. The Tarsis system was no different to uncounted millions of systems brought to compliance by the Great Crusade. An unremarkable corner of the nascent Imperium, Imperial forces quickly moved on once an Imperial governor was put in place. Several years after compliance, astropaths of the Imperial Choir started to report strange dreams and confusing messages. Reports were sent to the Imperial Palace on Terra, detailing the thinning of the veil between reality and the immaterium. In a growing, uncaring Imperium, these reports vanished into the spiraling bureaucracy.
Hello and welcome to episode 20 of the Geno 52 podcast. There's probably a difference in sound because we're not located in the Moth Dungeon today. We are sat roughly about 10 yards from a bar in Incom Gaming with the first round of Tarssis 4, the taking of a place I can't pronounce even though I wrote the name of it. Yeah, I'm glad when you did the audio tracks, man, you got that down.
Nervia Glavensium.
Yeah, that place. So yeah, round one's underway. We've got beers in hand.
We have got beers.
20 past 10. We're sinking the first pint of Monty Python's Holy Grail Ale, and this show is going to go downhill from here. So yeah, first round's underway. We've got 34 players. Sorry, everyone, up with beer and trying to breathe beer in. We've got 34 players here kicking ass and taking names in the first round. There's some. We're running away. Everything's fully painted.
Yes.
All the tables are fully painted. There's full-on narrative.
There is. It's relaxed. Everyone's smiling at the moment.
At the moment. You wait till
the moment.
When Jamie Jackson's talent starts ripping people's faces off, there might be a few tears.
We only started, 8 minutes late in the end?
Yeah, for me,
and Marlo was 15 minutes late, holding everyone up. So
he's no longer superstar Marlo. He's now last-minute Marlo.
But it's going well. We fumbled through the first round setup, but it's with little impact negatively, I'll say. It's going all right. Hopefully it will continue to go smoothly because we can just sit here and drink all day and record shit.
Well, I've been absolutely knocking my brains out the last week to get everything sorted, but my theory's been work like a nutter up to Saturday, and now, I mean, it's all coming into place. Once we get the rounds out, I'm now sat here chilling out and doing anything. Now, we are actually live broadcasting on Facebook, and I've just realised I can't see the comments. So I have no idea.
Let me see if my... I don't think there's anyone watching.
I don't think there's anybody watching. It's probably a bit early for everyone, but I might be able to get on Facebook on my laptop and view it.
This is a good radio for everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, first round's underway. We got loads of people.
3 views, no comments.
Here we are. Jesus, there's Mullins making the volume go. Yeah, so we've got Jason and Johnny from the Sons of Heresy here. Mullins is playing on table 1, and God, you can hear him. He is a big man with a big voice. So yeah, it's been pretty cool. We're live on Facebook. We're going to do some shit during the day, try and get people.
So yeah, the show's not going to be anything like a normal show. There's no definitive segments as such. We're going to grab people throughout the day for little interviews. We're going to sort of do little updates and see how it's going ourselves. We will talk a little about some of the armies that are here, some of the painting and things. There's a couple of kind of hobby-based painting competitions. Maybe read out some of the guys' fluff and things, or get the guys to read it out. So yeah, we don't know what the show is going to entail. So this could be 90 minutes of
carnage,
but it could be 4 hours of crap. It's going to be crap.
It's going to be crap.
It's not going to
get worse. As
not going to be the usual thing. But yeah.
So should we go through a little bit of what's happened this morning then for the guys out here?
Well, what about what we've been doing this week? Because we've talked in the last episode about what we've been doing scenery wise, but we had to sort of cross a lot of T's and dot a lot of I's this week to get it finished off. And so we had you spent the whole of Thursday organising each table's terrain, getting it all laid out, and you set up the upstairs room ready to go. And then you were bagging up all of the gift bags and the goodie bags. They got a mug, and then they got some dice. They've got a range ruler thing. What else have they got in there? Can't remember. Some advertising, probably.
Yeah,
a pen.
A pen. They got a pen. They got all their paperwork, so everybody's got a score sheet for the weekend.
Yeah.
They got their voting slips for best hobby and best sportsman. So they got all that kind of crap. Everyone came away. I mean, what we've done is we've taken the majority of the money that's been raised. We took a little bit out for buying our sound kit that we talked about before, and basically pumped everything back into the prize pack. So we got some fucking mega trophies.
Yeah.
I got decided to get some trophies for the 4 awards we've got. So we ordered these trophies thinking they'd be quite cool. They're massive. They come in velvet lined boxes. They're big glass engraved. It looks nuts. But so we put a chunk of money in that, but we put the majority of the money's gone into the players' packs. So everybody's come in, as they've come in this morning, they've been presented with a paper bag with 5 objective markers, 5 Geno dices, 2 Incom dices, 5 objective markers, a range ruler, all their paperwork, some flyers, some pens. You know, it's good shit. We got some other stuff we're going to give away for spot prizes. Jens has given us a load of sweets, Swedish sweets. So we're going to throw some Swedish sweets at people for getting stuff done. It's generally pretty cool. But so we got in this morning. So players have been divided into loyalists and traitors. Obviously, we're pretty lucky. I think the only person who's had to swap sizes, we've got Craig running Magnus on loyalist, but fair play, Craig stepped in.
It's a nice bit of fluff as well to explain it. I won't memorise it all now, but we'll post all the fluff up in the groups and stuff afterwards.
We'll get it all out there.
Get the lists out there as well, because I think people will be interested in seeing the lists.
Definitely. We're going to drop out stuff to people at the end. I'm going to release the event pack public, and I've got tons of resources, and if people want the resources, we'll share it to everybody and get that all out there. We want everyone to see what we're doing. But so they've arrived and been split up. So you're coaching you're taking charge of the traitors this weekend, aren't you, Stu?
That's right, yeah.
And Kurt's looking after the loyalists. So we got them together. I yelled at them for a bit, managed to get a load of stuff wrong, yelled at them a bit more, forgot to play the audio narrative clip, then dished them out to their EOs, who then gave them missions, and off they go. So we've got 6 ZM tables, so we've got some ZM battles going on at the moment. We got a load of other 6x4s from frontline games going on at the moment. So it's all going pretty well. No one's killed each other yet. Everyone seems to be smiling. Everyone seems to be happy. The armies are fucking stunning.
Yeah, there's some really, really stunning armies out there. I think once we finish recording here, that's going to be the next thing I do, is have a wander around and have a first look at some of the incredible work people have done.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's some stunning armies. I mean, Size, Salamanders, Dark Angels, Shattered Legion forces, gorgeous. Rob Medwell's Emperor's Children. That's a good looking army. What else has grabbed you? Craig's Thousand Sons are nice. They look nice. Anything else? What's grabbed you?
Who else did you mention then? Did you mention Marlowe's
No, I mentioned Marlowe's mate. They're beautiful.
He
turns up
Carl's,
late, but at least he can paint.
Ultramarines. The list goes on and on. I think that will be something that we'll have a wander around and have a first chat about that. So sort of recap the event for people who haven't listened to our shows going back the last few months. So it's a 2-day event, 34 players. It's a mix of ZM and 2,500 points. Full narrative, a different custom mission each round.
Well, the people playing frontline 2.5k battles will get a generated mission every month, every game. It's so 4 of them, 2 of them are from the Shadow Wars missions, 2 of them are from the City Fight missions.
And they've got little extra bits added, haven't they?
Yeah, and I've just tweaked them to suit the narrative of what we're doing, and they've got 1 from the Red Book, because Saturday, 3rd game, nobody's got a brain to play a game, so we just give them something. It's fairly straightforward.
Kill everyone.
Kill everyone.
With added pie plates.
Yeah. So fucking added pie plates. There's some hashtag added bullshit everywhere. The biggest added bullshit is these reward cards. Some of them are wild. All infantry units. The one I'm looking at, all infantry units getting the stubborn special within their deployment zone. That's pretty good.
Nice.
There is.
Don't give that one to Jason then.
Yeah. What else we got? Master of Armourers. 1 tank, super heavy or super heavy walker in your primary detachment gains twin link for all its attack, blessed auto simulacra, and scout and fleet.
Nice. Nice.
On a night, that's going to be savage. So, but there's only 1 of those in a pack of probably 100 cards. So I'll probably explain about the cards, to be fair. So the way we run the weekend is a campaign point system. So you've got to generate campaign points for your side. That's the side with the most campaign points at the end will win the event. So when you sit down and play your game, you got primary and secondary objectives in ZM, and primary, secondary, and tertiary objectives in frontline. They score victory points. So your objective in the mission is to score as many victory points as you can, and the player with the most victory points at the end generates 20 campaign points for winning. In case of a draw, 10 aside. Those campaign points are going to pop. Now, you can score additional campaign points for doing crazy shit. So I think it's 5 for killing a Lord of War, super heavy or gargantuan monstrous creature. So you kill a Primarch, you're going to get 5 VPs. There's extras for independent characters, unique and named characters. I think it works out, if you kill a Primarch, it's going to generate you 8, 9, maybe 10 campaign points.
Yeah, because they stack.
Yeah, so because they all stack up. So you kill a Primarch, so you get a mission, you think, fuck, I've lost the mission. Fuck it, I'll kill his Primarch. You might lose the mission, but you're going to generate half as many campaign points for that. You generate campaign points for making charges of over 10 inches, all kinds of stuff like that. So even if you're fucked in the mission and you think, I can't win the mission, it's like, well, I can do other stuff to help my side and generate stuff. So for every 20 campaign points you generate in your mission, you get a card. So you'll unlock these cards. And then you take them back to your Rio at the end of the next round, and you can horse trade them off for other things, keep them for yourselves, swap them about, you might, if you get something with, there's a few where it's like, tanks gain extra. Well, if you've got Mechanicum, you've got no tanks.
And that's what Kurt and I are going to be doing as War Masters, is trying to, it wasn't much of doing that first round other than hand out the missions, but try to get them talking about their games and say, what did you struggle with? What have you got? What's your matchup? Has anyone got a card that you don't think you want to use, but might well help this person out with the army they're facing? So that kind of thing. We think last time we did it, we had one of the players was the War Master, and it's they got their own game to set up, and it's easier just to have a third party there to try and get people engaging in conversation and swapping the cards and working around. Because there's some tough lists. There's some middle of the road lists. There's a couple of fairly I'd say fairly softer lists. There's a couple of Talon's always tough on paper, but there's a couple of very strong Custodes, heavy Talon's lists that they might decide, you know what, I don't need that card, I'll be all right, and maybe they'll donate it to someone else. But we'll have to see how the day plans out, really. But yeah, that was it really. We've had a busy week. We sorted all the matchups out for the first round yesterday and planned out the ZM games, and we've planned out round 2 now, so we can almost sit back now and watch the games and see how it goes. But other than that, I think shall we leave you with part 2 of the intro Tarssis fluff? You'll have heard the first part after the intro music. And then we'll go out to a little break, and we'll speak to you guys soon.
And just before we go, Blair, I'm not drinking orange cordial. This is proper ale, flat, warm British ale out of a keg. That's what we're drinking. So, cheers, Blair. We'll see you later, guys.
The conflict on Tarssis 4. Early in M31008, forces both loyal to the War Master and the Emperor were drawn into the Tarssis system. Navigators, having lost sight of the Astronomicum, were drawn to a faint beacon breaking through the storms in the warp. Ragged fleets of survivors from the Istvan massacre, the wider betrayal, and elements of forces loyal to Horus began emerging in the system, ready to make planetfall. Initial contact between vanguard elements on both sides quickly ground into a stalemate, with neither side being able to advance as far as their landing zones. As reinforcements broke through the ongoing orbital war, both sides prepared to mount their offences. 10 sites around the planet's tertiary hive city, Nervia Glavensium, had been identified as possible sources of the beacon shining into the warp, and forces set out to capture these locations. To reach the hive, forces would have to cross the Anderclum Plains and advance through the Campona River Delta. Traitor forces stole the advantage, crushing the Loyalist forces during the breakout across the plains, leaving the Loyalist forces scattered and regrouping as they moved towards the river delta. Traitor commanders decided to strike the decisive blow as the remaining Loyalist forces approached the Campona. Lying in ambush, they fell upon the Loyalist convoys. Despite valiant last stands by the Mechanicum and 6th Legion forces, alongside hit-and-run strikes by elements of the Sons of Deliverance, the traitor forces drove through the Loyalist elements. Unknown to Horus's forces, elements of the 20th Legion who had come with the War Master's fleets had supplied information to the Loyalist commanders about the planned ambushes. Reports of Alpha Legion forces fighting the traitors circulated, but nothing could be confirmed. Not trusting this information, elements of the Loyalist forces too broken to be viable or too consumed with the need for vengeance were sent into the teeth of the ambush to inflict as much damage as they could and delay the traitors for as long as possible. While these Loyalists sold each life dearly, the remaining forces took the secondary route through the Burner Pass, circumnavigating the traitors' forces. The Loyalist forces arrived shortly before the traitors. Both sides descended on signal locations, tearing into each other as they did so. The savage battle raged on the outskirts of Nervia Glavensium, with transhuman, mortal and cyber-mortal bodies thrown into a swirling melee of combat. In the end, the superior numbers of the traitors and their screaming hordes of unwashed cult followers drove back the Loyalist forces. The traitors secured 6 of the signal locations of the battle, the Loyalists leaving the remaining 4 smoking ruins. Adepts of the Mechanicum were sent to investigate the signal. Early reports indicate that the signals were a combination of new spheric data package and a language unknown to the Magos biologists. The signals have been traced to areas deeper in the hive. The traitors began advancing into the hive, leaving the shattered Loyalist forces in their wake.
Right, welcome back, guys. Round 2 is kicking off. Round 1 was a pretty heavy success for the Loyalists. First round mission was burn stuff, basically. It was run around and set fire to buildings and bushes and cause general carnage, so it was quite good. But we've managed to grab Alistair from Legion Allies.
Good evening, or good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, afternoon, mate. Fucking hell, don't
Oh
speak
yeah,
like that.
fucking hell, yeah.
Or whatever time they're listening. So,
Yeah, exactly. I
That's
thought
what
I'd
it
cover all bases.
I say good evening at the start of every show, and I'm like, yeah, you listen to it in the morning. That's
Yeah.
really stupid. So how was your first game then? What were you playing?
I played against Iron Warriors, playing Iron Fire.
Yeah.
That was painful. I'm sitting down, but I'm sort of sitting on a lean just to...
I did hear that you got a pinpoint accurate Medusa strike with 3 Medusas onto your Spartan's head.
Yeah, he did. It's just because of Iron Fire, obviously you put down markers and anything that fires remotely close to it doesn't scatter. And he's got a squadron of 3 Medusas. So it's like, yeah. That's...
They just dropped 3 shells
Yeah.
straight on top of it.
And then, out came Sigismund with his 10 Terminators, and they just got mowed off.
Yeah.
Sigismund ended up surviving on 1 wound and then trying to dart across the board as quick as he can and kick the shit out of stuff, but he ended up just getting shot out by a fucking Phosphex.
The eternal bane Phosphex.
Yeah. Well, it was partly a mistake. I mean, I should have just flat out it straight up the board and just.
Ram that Spartan down people's
Yeah.
throats. Yeah, you got to be aggressive when
Yeah.
you go this Spartan Death Star route.
I thought, I'll go a little bit cautious, move 12, and then fire a couple of last shots at something.
Yeah.
I should have just ignored that and just fucked it all off.
When you're only snap firing one and firing one at normal BS,
Yeah.
just ram it down.
But it's
people's
machine
throats.
spirit, so.
Yeah, but you still only get the one at full BS.
Yeah.
That's solid. Unless you just ram it down people's throats.
Yeah, just fuck it.
Because even when you got the big blast templates, if you're in their lines,
Yeah.
fire your big blast templates. Doesn't matter how much they're scattering. If I'm in amongst your troops, you're not going to fire it.
Yeah. Well,
you,
he was.
you had a long way to travel as well, didn't you? Because you
Yeah.
search and destroy deployment, but
Yeah,
he
it
was
was
right
on
in
corners,
the corner,
yeah.
wasn't he? So it was
Corner to corner.
You were kind of foot slogging after
Yeah.
you lost his Spartan all the way across there. And how much did he have in that corner behind the big building as well? So he had all
Yeah,
three Medusas, didn't
3
he?
Medusas, a Scorpius, and then his 3 quad mortars.
all in about 1 foot square.
Yeah.
Almost.
I mean, if you'd had a decent blast template.
Yeah, if I'd had a Typhon, like because there's another fist player who's got a Typhon,
Yeah.
and he thought that was me.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm terrified of your Typhon." I was like, "I haven't got one, mate." Fuck.
You should have run and grabbed it quick.
Yeah. Just pretended. Oh yeah, it's this Scorpius. I'm proxying it as a Typhon.
Yeah, this guy, yeah, definitely is a type.
Yeah, yeah. No, you don't want to check my list. No, it's fine.
Cool. So
Yeah.
how did you get on the second round then? Because you've racked up and smashed your game. You
Yeah,
played ZM?
smashed it out ZM. Yeah, against Night Lords. That was again quite painful.
Yeah.
The guy I was playing against ended up one-shotting my Contemptor Dreadnought with his Dreadnought. Because he had twin-link glass cannon.
Yeah.
Just popped it and there it goes. But I managed to get Retribution with a veteran squad.
Yeah.
Melter bombed it. And obviously you're running multi-melter.
Of course we are. Multi-bomb all the way.
Multi-bombing. So I chucked 7
That
melter
bomb.
bombs at it. Fuck it.
Down he goes.
Yeah. And then everything else. His terror squads and his Praetor just mopped up everything else, and
Yeah,
that was
pretty
it.
fast moving, lots of
Yeah.
attacks. Once they get in close, they were.
Yeah, they
they're
fuck
gonna
up everything.
Eat their way through stuff, but yeah, no. How did you find ZM then? You played much before?
I've played one game at Warhammer World that was with me missus.
Yeah.
That was just here's how you play a game. It's nice and small, and we just sort of kept going until she tabled me.
Yeah.
Because she's doing Death Guard,
Yeah.
or I'm doing Death Guard for her, and she just sat at one end of the board, so it's just like me feeding everything to her.
Yeah.
Whatever. Then I played against one of the guys who's here today, who's local to me. Who's actually testing out this list.
Yeah.
This list for today. I think I ended up winning on that mission because it was where you've got objectives that have armor value and you've got to kill the objectives.
Yeah.
Because he was attacking, I was defending. I could just
Yeah.
leave the objectives alone
Yeah.
and just go around and kill his
him.
units. But
Yeah.
that's about it. We weren't really playing with full mission rules.
Fair enough. Just having a taste of it. 'Cause
Yeah.
It plays quite differently, doesn't it?
Yeah,
We've
absolutely.
been with the movement and. You know, maneuverability is king in
Yeah,
ZM. If you
yeah.
can move fast, you're gonna do damage. I mean,
Yeah.
White Scars eat ZM alive on their bikes because just being able to move that fast
Yeah,
is insane.
yeah. Well, I think next year because I'm working on Mechanicum that I want to take to Company Legends,
Yeah.
and then I might see if I can get White Scars done for next year's Tarsus.
Nice,
That'd
nice,
be cool.
nice.
That'd be cool to see some.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, the guys are playing their second round. They are playing a headhunting mission, which is basically pick D3+1 characters and kill them.
Oh, nice.
It's more victory points the earlier you kill them. So I think
Yep.
it's 6 victory points a character for killing them in the first round, and it goes down
Yeah.
Each
a
round.
VP each
Yep.
round. So there's some people out there. I just upset Jamie Jackson by going and pointing out to his opponent that all his Custos models are characters. And he went, oh yeah, I'll take that guy there and that guy there.
Shit.
So it might have been that mission might have been picked because it would be quite hard for Custos
Yeah,
players.
yeah.
Well, you've got to add some balance somewhere along the line, haven't you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. It's good. So, how have you found the event overall so far?
Really good.
Apart from our atrocious match-up system that we've got going.
Yeah, the organisers could do a little better, I suppose. But I don't know. It's like with everything, these things bound to happen at some point.
Yeah. Well, we've in previous events, we've just let people pick tables and then go and pick their opponent. The opponent. So the faction that's ahead, we've all gone and picked a table, and then you send everyone else off. This is the first time we've tried to do the matchups, because it's narrative and not Swiss. You can't use a program to do it. So we're sitting there trying to go. Well, they've played someone before. We've put everyone's grudges in, and so you end up with this sort of little headache sometimes. So it's going to get harder as the rounds go on.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it, but when I do my fighting, we do it. It's not Swiss, but it's basically where you draw up your chart and then you just number each person and then sort of do it like that.
Would that work with grudges, or will that throw the spanner in?
It might throw it a little bit, but I think you could.
Do grudges first round only, and then use a spreadsheet for the rest of it or something. But we got there. It was only a 2 or 3 minute delay. But
it was. I mean, it's a complication. It's like, oh yeah, hang on, we got to play this and this. We checked the grid one way when we should have checked it both ways. And it was like, oh yeah, hang on, we got a duplicate there. But we think we got it sorted for the next.
Well, everyone's playing a game.
Everyone's playing a game.
That's all that matters.
You see, the biggest thing for us, we're split over 2 floors at the moment. So going and picking a game, like
it's hard to do.
You can't just sort of.
We had to
wander
do
off.
something different. Didn't
we had to. This is 14 more than the last event. So we nearly doubled the size of the event for this one. So it's been a lot more. The thinking hasn't doubled. It's almost tripled or quadrupled to sort it all out. I mean, I know the Aussies are very keen on the sort of very laid-back style of do nothing, but I think it requires a certain amount of effort. You do need to have it on 30-40 scale. It takes quite a bit of admin to just keep. I mean, we're adding more and more bullshit in as well, so we just it just needs keeping.
I think our scene's a bit different.
Yeah,
I think if you just said to everyone, go and find your event, you'd end up making half the matchups anyway, because people are different. Some people are really loud and they're confident and they'll put their hand up and go, hey, who wants to play me? And someone will stand in the back and always be the last person. So it's difficult. So we thought we'd try and do it, and we've realised that it's really difficult. We might need to plan everything out, or we've got to find a different way of doing it. But that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about discovering what works and what doesn't.
We've learnt loads. We've learnt loads from the last time we ran it. Every event we come away with like, right, we got to do this, this, and this better. We need to think about this. That came up and we weren't sure on that. And every event's getting better and better. More and more slick and more well drilled.
Absolutely. It's not going to spoil it. I think we wanted to do more with the War Masters on each side, but there's not an awful lot to do other than kind of helps people with their cards and say, well, do you want to swap that out, and that kind of because we were sorting out matchups, it's not worked, but we will see how the rest of the rounds go and reflect on it at the end, but at least everyone's playing and the atmosphere is nice and relaxed and everyone's full of barbecue, burger and sausage at the moment.
I think everyone's
it's
a bit
too early
at the moment.
It's too early in the day for anyone for it to be coming back out again, so we don't know if anyone's got food poisoning yet.
End of the round we'll know.
Chip's having a nap. sleeping off his excesses from last night, other than that, this is the nice part of the day when it goes a bit quiet.
A bit chilled. So cool. I think we better go and check and make sure everybody's getting on all right, and we'll be back in a little bit with the next round.
No problem.
After the Loyalists lost the battle for the signal relays, they fell back from the hive, scorching the earth as they went. The traitorous forces are quick to follow, trying to wipe out the remaining Loyalist resistance, destroying everything in their path.
Hello, welcome back to what can only be described as a Phosphex war crime going on at Incom Gaming at the moment. There's some bad guts around in there.
Your guts are bad, and I'm sitting next to you. I should have thought about this and moved your mic to the other side of the table.
Yeah, I've been laying some bloody Phosphex during round 2. We've had round 2. Round 3 is kicked off. This round the guys are just trying to batter the shit out of each other. They're playing Tide of Carnage, so they want to get up into each other's grills, and generally, I mean, the theory is it's coming up for 5 o'clock. The guys have been playing for 8 hours. Everyone's pretty
straightforward kind of
simple mission but the first 2 missions have been pretty chaotic. One was a city fight mission, one was a shadow war mission. They took it. They're not what most people are used to playing.
No.
But now I know from when I've been to events, by this point I'm usually fucked. My brain is gone. So just something nice and straightforward. Have a laugh, play some ZM, play some frontline games, kick the crap out of each other. Nothing too complex for now. Were you smashing these Swedish sweets?
Well, I'm just trying some.
Bleh.
What was it? I've ripped the corner of the packet
You're
off.
fucking
and I'm
throwing them
tipping
everywhere.
I don't know what the last letter is. It's,
Bleh.
it also says Bilal, but that sounds.
Oh, I like marshmallow.
These are nice, yeah.
Oh,
But did you fancy trying the plop?
I should have some plop in a bit.
Yeah, there's a chocolate for English people who will find toilet humour funny. Jens has bought us a chocolate bar in called Plop. So yeah. Yeah, that's
the hairdryer. That's not the hairdryer. The hand
the
dryer.
hand
That's how
dryer in the
fucking loud
toilets,
that is.
yeah, and that's how close we are to the toilet. Really lovely.
I need to be this way. So it's taken its toll a bit today, and Chip's been upstairs to have a nap because he couldn't hack it. Dale's wandering around looking like a dead man walking, flashing £5 and rubbing
That
his
you've just
nipple.
stolen from the till. What's going on? That's disgraceful.
Is that your wages for the day?
No, I have to pay.
You have to pay to be here.
Hi, Geno.
This is one half of Incom's Chip and Dale combination. They get their tits out later.
They're more chipmunks, Chip and Dale, than the
whether
Chip
you
and
want
Dales.
them to or not.
Definitely not the male stripper variety. We shouldn't both take.
Yeah,
a
we
big
both
sip of
shouldn't
our
swig
drink
out
at
a
the
bit.
same time.
We tell you what, we're fatigued now, aren't we? We're not got our usual radio heads.
That's because
on,
we've
have we?
melted our brains trying to
Fucking sad,
do
don't we?
matchups rather than.
I put it out there. We're going to make a spreadsheet that's going to make a narrative matchup system like a Swiss tournament app.
We're trying to do too much, aren't we? We're trying to factor in an odd number of. Well, it's an even number, but an odd amount of ZM games within a round. So there's 11 normal games
And six
six
ZM.
ZM games. Trying to make sure that everyone plays at least one, but not too many ZM games. We can swap it around, and then we're taking grudges on the fly.
Yeah.
So people are saying, "Oh, I've had a really good game. Can
wanna-
I have a grudge from this next round?" Which we want to do, but the problem is we're then left with this weird logic problem.
And then
of who
also
can play what.
trying to match people up so they're not going to, they're not going to have a real big
Yeah.
mismatch in their game.
There's a couple of really tough lists. I said knocking over the bits
Fucking
of
hell,
paper.
trying to eat sweets and knock up. That's my technical way of drawing table numbers.
I've
So
knocked
fold-
over a plastic cup with some bits
fucking
of paper in it.
paper. We are fucking slick. I
Yeah,
never said it was going to be a good event. I said it'd happen.
I think people are really enjoying the event when we're not involved.
Oh yeah, they're having a cracking game now. Me and Sue were sat in the corner talking
It's
shit.
all relaxed now. Everyone's having a good time. The only time they look a bit concerned is when we're trying to organise them.
I mean, if they've listened to the podcast, I don't know what they were expecting.
we should just say, look, the tables are there.
Play.
Sort yourselves out.
I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, everyone seems very fun. I know, there's a lot of talk. The iHorse guys are very much on their just let people play games and get on with it shit. But
I just don't think,
I don't know.
I think
I like
everyone's ready for it yet here. Some players.
I like a little bit of structure because I like to know. All right, I'm going to get a game. I'm going to get a break. Then I can have beer. I mean, it's, aside from us having rounds. It's fucking well laid back, people like the ZM games, like they've got 2.5 hours and you're playing a ZM game, they're smashing it out now. And it's like, well, have another game. A lot of people in the first round went, oh, we've played, we want to go and see like people's armies and see how people are getting on. So they didn't play again, they went and had a chat, I think Alistair was pretty fucked after that last game and he was like, I need to sit down. So they finished their game and they cracked on. But then some of them are smacking out 2 or 3 ZM games.
And then one of the guys Sam's taking a knee this round because he's a bit tired, and someone else has dropped it. No, Kurt's dropped in to
play
a game, so it works. It's flexible. I think the open play kind of thing can work. But I almost think you need more of us, not to organise them, but to put on things.
Yeah.
So I know the iHorse guys, they'll have.
They got a lot more
you
of the
go
DM
up to
game.
a table and have a DM game, or you go up to another table and there's someone there organising it and telling you what
And
to
that
do.
works really well with the DM games because you're not on a time restriction. You're not thinking, shit, we've got to get through this adventure because we got around it. And they're like, well, if it takes 3 hours to play through, well, cool, no fucking bothers.
Come over to my table and I'll entertain you for a couple of hours. Which may be something we do in the future, but that's not
I like the
in the short term.
I like the idea of that. It's more of like, I'll book Incom for the day. I'll put out all the tables. I'll be here to just count up the scores and just run the bullshit.
Yeah.
And you can turn up and you can be there all day, or you can turn up and play for a morning or an afternoon. Pay, chip in some money to go towards, some prize support. Come and play all day. We'll have a cap maybe. I don't know. Just kind of a more like laid back day, like gaming with your mates, which I know is what they like.
Yeah. I've got some ideas right now. It's not you've planned it, but the next year's events are planned out as it is.
Yeah.
And we'll
hopefully
later
by
on
the
in
time.
cast, but
Hopefully by the time this is out. What do you want, Tony?
Question.
No.
I'm going to fire my vortex grenade at his Land Raider.
Yeah.
Does it affect the unit inside because it's vortex?
Strength D, so you'll attack the Land Raider.
Yeah.
If the Land Raider explodes, I think anything inside it takes a strength 10 AP2.
Strength 10 AP2.
I don't know if that's right, but that's what's happening. Yeah.
Mate.
Fuck it. Rules. We've got so many
His
vortex.
opponent's going to be back in a minute. He's just,
Well, it's not as bad as last
and
time.
I'll
where-
give him a different rule, and then they'll both go back.
When we had Damien bowl and we had the two Damiens play, and Damien with the word bearers threw his vortex grenade at a bunker full of Imperial fists hiding with their bolters, and he teed the shit out of them. But then they promptly all poured out, all the Cybers poured out and heavy bolted the shit out of his Galval back and annihilated them. We got some vortex grenades, and they are causing utter carnage.
It's good.
They're brilliant.
So yeah, what's been happening in the last rounds? We've had
Oh, last minute Marlowe took a pace.
Marlowe's not.
So,
his models are all falling apart. His
him.
arm's falling off his knight now as well, so there's even more damage. He keeps losing. His dice are terrible.
So he turned up with what on paper? I gotta admit, it seemed like a bit of a fucking powerful list. He turned up with Scoria, a Knight Lancer,
Yep.
2 Voltaracs,
Yep.
a bunch of castles, and a bunch of robots. I mean, they're beautiful. I'll give him it. They're beautiful.
They look amazing. Yeah.
So last game he stood there, and he comes over and he's like, Predator with las cannon sponsons, just killed my knight. 2 las cannons, fired into him, hit. He failed his invuln saves. 2 6s penned it. Rolled the dice, rolled 2 6s, and did an extra D3. That's Chip's keys given back to him because somehow he. Trust me, I fired the fuck on them. So he rolled the D3s, 2 pens, rolled the 2 D3s, got two more 3s on it, so did a total of 8 whole points to it in one round of chat and just annihilated it. And he was like, right, and he was like, he's just killed my knight. Scoria's on 1 wound. Scoria was dead by round 2. I don't know what they've done, but I think people need to seek out Oliver Butwell and say, Oliver, how the hell do you kill Scoria? Because he annihilated him. Last minute Marlowe's had a bit. I told him after God's War, the screwing around when we did at God's War, I told him he can have a hard weekend. So he's up, and what else he can go on?
I'm just giving him a card to help him out in his next game, but and then he complained that he didn't have enough inventory to use it. And I said, "Well, use it on the one inventory you have got."
Stop being such a whacker.
It's only a one-use thing, isn't it? Anyway, so what else we had? We've had Magnus has been quite successful.
Magnus has been powerful.
Scored quite a few of our points for the tournament.
He's reaped a toll with the Guard of the Crimson King. I think he's actually out there as the highest scoring player at the moment.
By far, that
he's smashed.
It's on paper that's what you should expect.
Stuff left.
We didn't know how much some of the quirky missions were going to affect it. It turns out
Not a lot. He's been smashing, but no, fair play.
The Talons haven't smashed it as much as we.
Talons have been
thought.
very interested. So Jamie Jackson played Sam Cornish's Iron Warriors. You probably remember Sam. We've been to a couple of events with him. Valdor, deep striking list, what you'd expect. Dropped in front of his lines and just got repulsed by weight of fire. Absolutely, a ton of Medusas.
You reckon he lost about 1,000 points in that second turn?
Yeah.
But it shows the strength that they still came back and got a solid win in the end.
Yeah, he came back.
But it was one of those solid on points, but maybe not so on the table.
The best thing that happened was the fact that he got one of these custos at deep stroke right in front of the lines. They were. There was one guy left, and Sam circled him like an old West wagon train with his rhinos, made a full ring around him, and then heavy bolted the crap out of him. Go and check Jamie. He's at the route on Instagram.
Yeah.
I know that picture's up there. He's just like, round him up, boys, hammer the fuck out of him.
Oh dear me. So not all the lists that we expected to do really well have done that. Some of that is though because you're looking at it in terms of a list as a whole, but everyone's got 2 lists because they've got a ZM list and a 2-5 list.
I will say the Talons have been kicking dick in ZM. They are. Custos seem pretty.
And some of those are
unstoppable.
toned down a little bit. There's a lot more there's a lot more sisters in the Talons EM list and things.
Yeah,
so.
they roll through stuff quite hard. They're pretty. Because you generally in ZM you remove the tools that will get rid of them, the big guns that will do them damage, and you're starting to really they're putting other people on the back foot in ZM, but. That's cool. One of the things I've been talking to people about is, how they've been getting on.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested to see. I mean, this is my biggest exposure to Talons. I played Custos once or twice. Not really seen them out in the wild too much, so it's going to be really interesting. I'll keep a close eye on and see really how is there a problem with Custos?
Yeah.
Is it a what? I know on paper, yes, there are some big issues with points and stuff. Horace, Radio Freest fan, they've definitely been through and done the maths.
Yeah.
I'm a much bigger believer in what happens on the field. You know, missions, I've always said, you know, like, Math Hammer is great, but sometimes you don't do the most mathematically best thing because you do what you need to win the game, and it's plans and winning games. So it's interesting to see how they perform. I mean, they are performing well. You know, I'm not out here saying talents are a weakness.
I'm sure if it was a straight up 2500 event using the 6 core missions,
anything like Blood Feud, a fight, a punch to the death, you're going to struggle. But I mean, we've got some real quirky missions in there, some even more quirky missions tomorrow.
We got random cards that are giving people clawbacks in games that they wouldn't
Oh,
normally
yeah,
have.
people are
There's things messing with the normal say balance of the game. I'm not sure you can
Yeah,
use that
yeah.
word anymore, but
The mathematics on paper of a unit.
but people are having fun, it seems. I was just James Hingley. He it's not Tank Shot. What's it with the super heavy? It's Thunder
Blitz.
Thunder Blitzed. Tom Clowes' what was it? A Venator, and I think he hit a Vindicator as well.
Yeah.
Blew up. I don't know if he took his Leviathan that was standing next to it as well, but it was quite.
When the Volkite Carronade not enough, ram the fuckers.
So he rammed them. He couldn't get anywhere though. He was kind of blocking him up, and he rammed it, blew himself up, and 2 other tanks.
Just detonated.
I know the blast clipped his Leviathan. I didn't stay around to see whether he took that out as well. So the people are having fun stuff. It's very much heresy as you expect it. Dark Angels have been winning some games, which is you don't usually see here. Killer's been winning some games.
Killer's been fucked over by the minus D3 on the
Tony's been winning some games. He was hungover as hell this morning. Didn't know he was playing. He stepped in for someone last minute. Won his first 2
victory
games.
sobered him up quite a bit.
Yeah, it did.
And another 3 beers, I think.
Yeah, I think the beers helped him a little bit.
He's been rocking and rolling. So yeah, there's been some really good games. I mean, some stunning armies. We're going to get to. We're going to do armies on parade at lunchtime tomorrow. So
I've posted a few pictures up today. People have already seen all of these pictures by the time we listen to this, but get some closer, better pictures tomorrow of the models when you're not trying to get in the way of people's games and things.
I mean, I got my nice SLR with me, so I'm going to take a bunch of really nice photos. So they probably won't go up till a couple of days after the event by the time I've had time to sit down and just process.
There'll be a few iPhone ones before, and then but Tom, you'll put together a nice.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get some decent pictures of everybody's. I mean, we got to go and look at everything while we're judging best painted, haven't we? So we'll go and have a look at those. But yeah, generally, I think it's been a pretty chill day. Everyone seems to have been smashing out games and rattling through stuff and having a good giggle. It's been pretty wild. It's been some funny. Some fucking vortex grenades. They've been absolutely kicking ass. Tony's just come over. Can I throw a vortex grenade at Land Raider and does it hurt people inside? I don't fucking know. Strength 10 AP2. Fuck it. But yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? It's just about having fun and not letting the rules get in the way too much. You know, just. Well, let's see what's cool, what's fun. You know.
Yes, and I think that's pretty much what's happened. Most people seem to be having a relaxed time.
Most of the questions seem to have been, how does this quite work in this mission? So, like the first mission we had was setting fire to built pieces of terrain with infantry units, and Johnny came over and was like, "Can a unit set fire to more than one at one time?" I was like, "Not really." He's like, "Good, because it's militia belters." He's like, "If I disembark and move right, I could probably get most of the terrain in one go." So, you know, the little quirks. We write custom missions. I mean, these are all ones I've taken from City Fighter stuff. I have adapted and changed and things to make them suit my way. So they require a little bit of, you know, I'm not just hammering down on what every letter of every word says. We're going, well, what actually would make this game fun? Yeah.
We got the matchups right last round, I think. Everyone went off.
No
one was left at the end.
Fuck knows. I think Matt Rule was playing on the same table he's played a ZM game on a game.
We're drawing those at random anyway, aren't we? Drawing those out of a cup. There's not a lot we can do about that.
I do like to generally try and get people on different tables, but it's a case of the only way we could think of getting it
34
done.
34 players, 2 game formats.
17 tables.
17 tables.
Trying not to get duplicates because it'll just add a shitload of admin. It's just most people are like, yeah. I think if somebody said I've played on that 3 times,
it's 34 people over 17 tables is fine, but when you've got people, then when it's split down into 6 ZM,
it's actually 11. It's 11 tables or 6 tables.
So it's just the way it is. But I think it's going a bit smoother. Not looking forward to having to clear it all away tonight because the place is a club. So we've got to pack it all away.
It took us 40 minutes to set up downstairs. I think we can smash it.
I think putting it away is the worst. I think it's always setting up is always nice and putting it away.
Well, no, because setting up you've got to actually think about where you're putting stuff. Whereas you're packing away, just getting it in the box. If you know what
quicker,
I mean.
But it's more depressing. I think.
But we know we've got to get up tomorrow morning and put it all on again.
Yeah, we'll be back here at 7 o'clock in the morning, feeling worse for wear ourselves, and we'll probably regret taking the piss out of Chip and Dale today. But we'll let the phones go. That's really loud considering it's nowhere near us as well.
Probably chips as well in the fucking front there. I'm going to set my alarm for 6:30. I'll just get up, have a chip, get on. Shits have been the story of the day, to be fair, haven't they?
Well,
Shits and sleeping.
shit and sleeping.
That's been pretty wild. And last night got a bit messy for a few people.
Yes, not us.
No, it's actually very sensible. Whacker Tom came to stay with me, so
I was home looking
Yeah.
after the wife and kid, making
you were
sure I
in-
got
you
my
were in
points.
wife points,
Got
so
my points so I can stay away today.
yeah. Well, my wife was off watching the rugby, so I had to drive. So which wasn't a bad thing, because I think if I'd have been drinking, I'd have got the taste for it, and I'd have probably not come home. So which was good, to be fair, because I needed to be here, I needed to be on it a bit, and yeah, I mean we're 4 or 5 pints deep now already.
Yeah.
So it's not we're not doing
Over a
too
long
bad.
period of
Yeah,
time.
we're not
no, it's
doing too bad. Been busy. I mean, as I said, it's madness. I haven't left the pub all day, and I've done. Well, I've walked over 7k in the
Nice.
pub without leaving the pub. You know, I've done about 3 or 4 miles.
Probably did 4 of that this morning, running around, setting everything up.
So-
Think about tomorrow then.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty wild, but yeah, it's been pretty cool. We're looking forward to tomorrow. Looking forward to Armies on Prey. There's some seriously nice.
We'll have
stuff
to. It'd be nice to have some painting to talk about. Tomorrow.
yeah.
Have a little segment talking about.
Yeah,
it.
we'll do talking a lot more about the armies industry, because I mean, I've been looking at stuff, but it's been kind of like rushing around trying to make sure everyone's okay, everyone's got their head around the missions, everyone's happy,
Yeah.
and then just smashing, rather than sitting down and actually looking at their army and the details and stuff. So
But yeah, we'll try and get some of the other guys on tomorrow. We don't know who it will be because it depends what time they need to finish the games early, really, to have time to come on and have a little bit of a chat with us. But
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll grab a couple. There's too many people to try and get everyone on. And I think last time we recorded lots of stuff for people that talked about their games.
yeah,
It's talking about games is fun, but if that's all we have for 4 hours of a show, I don't think people really find that interesting.
Yeah. No, we're going to get some people on. We grabbed Alistair earlier. I'm going to try and grab Jens at some point. Grab
Yes,
him.
definitely. We'll
See
try
how many infiltrating glaives he's had this year. See what else he's been up to. But yeah, we'll try and catch some people.
and ask him about plop and whether it's safe to eat.
These Swedish, of course, it's like they love eating plop. Yeah, cool. All right, guys, we're gonna go and catch up. I mean, how long have they got left of this round there? Fuck me, they've got an hour and a half left. That's an hour of that round gone. So we'll go and smash some people and see. So we'll catch you in a bit, guys.
As vicious fighting breaks out all across the hive, champions from forces on both sides emerge, desperate for glory, revenge, or the favour of thirsting gods. They launch into a desperate conflict.
G52 is sponsored by Incom Gaming, the new centre for tabletop wargaming in Gloucestershire. Visit incomgaming.co.uk for great savings on pre-orders and all your hobby needs. We stock many gaming systems and hobby accessories and can ship to anywhere in the UK. Incom Gaming is the only UK stockists of the market-leading gaming mats from gamemats.eu. Visit the store and check out how to turn your tabletop into a battlefield. Incom Gaming is based in the centre of Cheltenham and offers tables and scenery for casual and organised play with a fully licensed bar. Check out our events page for upcoming events where everyone is welcome. Save an additional 10% on Games Workshop Heresy products by using the code Geno52 at the checkout. Visit incomgaming.co.uk and help fight the betrayal. Incom Gaming. Come game, shop, drink. To shop elsewhere is heresy.
Hello, welcome back everybody. It's Sunday morning. I have a pretty major hangover. And Tarssis 4's going again. Somehow, the fucking event is still running when I feel
It's
like
running
shit.
smoother today as well.
Yeah, because I'm
It's going very, very smooth this morning.
I think there's a fair few hangers. I think everybody's pretty laid back this morning. No one's really chasing. So yeah, we're back with round 4. We're joined by Kurt. You've probably heard on some other shows babbling on, and he's our other EO for the event. So you've been looking after loyalists.
Loyalists, yep. We are spanking the
Oh,
traitors.
Jesus, it's actually a little unfunny at the moment.
Well, I might have given the traitors some extra help. If you look at the decks,
Yeah, my decks of extra cards have vanished.
Yeah, hang on a minute.
that's the ZM deck. That was the small deck. Look at the big deck,
Whoa.
which is now only got.
Can going to be after having a word on that one, Stu.
No, you needed a bit of help.
Yeah, that's the Phosphex one, but that's another fucking set of cards. That's loads of cards. I don't even know where the ZM deck is now.
Wow.
Oh well, we'll work it out.
It's a good slick operation here.
Yeah.
They need a bit of help.
If you come to a Geno event expecting full-on slick, perfect organisation with nothing going wrong, you're in the wrong fucking
You're an
place.
idiot if you listen to this podcast and think that
Think
you'll
that
get
this
full
is
on.
slick. Well, no, because they'll probably think that it is because of the hours of editing Stu does afterwards and the amount of organisation he does of me. You've got me in raw format here, where you're just getting unedited crap out of my mouth. I would think, was I saying I can't get Iron Warriors and Iron Hands around. I call both.
You wouldn't be the only one. That
Yeah.
seems to be a fairly common.
They're both iron and dicks anyway.
That's why you brought me in, wasn't it? So I could cover up some of the shit that you're producing live.
Gotta have a good support crew to get you through events. I'm here to be loud and run around everywhere, and Stu and Kurt are here to actually make stuff happen. So, right, the mission for this round, they are playing the noose, so they are slipping the noose away. It's pretty bent. Si came up to me at the start with his chat and he just went, I think I'm on -1 before we've rolled a dice. And he's like, I can't win it. This mission's not very balanced, and my reply was, and?
Exactly.
It's great.
And he's won his first 3 games and scored second highest so far with
He's
a on paper fairly middle of the road Shattered Legions.
Yeah, nothing. He's played well. He's done
really
the
well
luck
with
of the
it.
dice a few games. I think he took a bit of a pounding in the last round, didn't he? Yesterday.
I don't know. He scored a lot. He scored a lot of CPs anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't his easiest game of the 3, but
he
he's
got
doing
there.
well.
Yeah, what's he rocking on? 42, 38, 23. So yeah, it was his weakest game, but he still racked out 23 points, 23 campaign points. So yeah, as it stands at the moment, the Loyalists are currently rocking 1,028 points. And the Traitors, amazingly, went in overnight with 666 points. So I think the word bearers have been playing with the scores to. I'm expecting some blood fountains to start appearing somewhere, and our resident word bearer Damien to start running around with tattoos engraved on his chest somewhere, trying to summon some demons. I mean, if you go to the upstairs toilet in the office, it does smell like someone's been raising demons in there this morning.
Grandfather Nurgle is definitely in residence up there at the moment.
Yeah, I've been dropping Phosphex bombs all the way around the event today. So what you'll notice is I'll come up and talk to somebody and I'll just move very quickly, and it's usually because, I better leave now.
You've never seen Tom shift so fast.
Drop it and run.
How do you get on?
A terrible loss.
Terrible loss too. You going to rack up and have another game?
James has just gone for a wander around. But,
Oh yeah, no worries then. No worries. Cool. That's
Cheers.
for Chris. There we go. So another spanking for the Alpha Legion. They took another 2. So Chris had he's had 24, 22, a 2 and a 2. So he's done
2 and 2.
He's done pretty good. He's done all the 2s.
That was another traitor loss.
Another traitor loss. But it does put them on 668 now, so I'm less likely to see a satanic ritual upstairs.
We might need to narratively make the loyalist Magnus turn traitor in round 5, and then all of his points swap over, and the traitors will still lose.
Yeah. Magnus has been absolutely rampaging this weekend. He has smashed fuck out of everything.
It'd be interesting to see, because he's still got 2 rounds worth of scores to come in.
Just see how much damage you mean. And to be fair though, it's not just Magnus. The segment in ZM have smashed. Interestingly, Jason Mullins' traitor Thousand Sons are taking on Craig's Loyalist Thousand Sons in a ZM match now.
It could just be bro hugging and.
Yeah, they're just hugging under the table and saying Magnus didn't do anything. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes out, because in theory will they sort of cancel each other out, because they're both going to be psychically. It's going to come down to psychic rolls, really, isn't it? Who hits the right powers off at the right times? But I mean, they've been playing for an hour now, and they haven't come downstairs to say it's all over. So it could be quite close up there.
They might just be talking lots, but
yeah, they're probably.
I'd say it's more likely they haven't even rolled a dice yet.
Jason hasn't stopped speaking yet. Yeah. The Magic Unicorn's out in effect today. Johnny's got his beautiful Magic Unicorn shirt on.
It doesn't look quite as bright as the rest of him.
No.
He looks a little bit.
Definitely caught him sleeping on the bench outside eating his bacon roll this morning.
Although he has covered it up. He did have to go and speak to Nurgle for a bit.
He's gone and raised Nurgle.
He's gone and raised Nurgle, and it's the unicorn shirt has been covered. I think he's suffering a little bit.
Dale, stop whispering in my ear when I'm trying to talk. That's next game. But well, he is playing Steve Watt, Sons of Horus, table 9 upstairs.
He's got a message for him, has he?
Because let's face it, there's only one thing more disorganised than the Geno running the event. It's the Incom
It's
staff
the Incom
running the
staff
shop.
running-
Turned up yesterday.
But do shop at Incom.
Yeah, so they genuinely they get everything done, but they don't have to make a mess and a smell of it on the way through. But yeah. So yeah, they're playing the news now. There's lots of ZM going on. People are enjoying the ZM games. You know, lots of requests to play more ZM.
Yeah.
A couple of people are playing 3 or 4 games over the weekend. You know, really banging it out.
It's a
And
nice
nice
mix,
because
isn't it?
actually, if they're playing 3 or 4 rounds, they're playing 6 games. You know, actually value for money for your ticket.
Yeah, well, some
Getting
people
six-
have knocked out quite a few extra little games
Yeah,
of DM
yeah.
and stuff, and even I know James and who was he playing? Matt. They had another little extra game where they just put Pearl Harbor up against some
Custodes and
some-
Sora.
yeah, just for a
Pearl
laugh
Harbor versus
in
Custodes
ZM just to see how we like. Just
Yeah.
you know, we
Yeah.
got half an
Essentially,
hour.
they-
Let's play
they-
sort of a
yeah.
few hundred points, so it's
They-
really good.
They
Really good
played
to
the
see.
game with the army building requirements of the event, and
Yeah.
they got that and they smashed that out, and they were like, "Can we just mess around?" Yeah, go.
Just like we did as
yeah.
kids, wasn't it? It's
Yeah,
like,
just chuck
take-
some models on the table and let's see what happens.
It's
you know?
cool. It's really
good.
cool.
So yeah, a lot of people have found the doors interesting because it's suddenly like, oh, hang on, I've got to get there. Well, I've got the movement to get through it, but hang on, I can't move through it because we'll stop, shoot the door open,
Yeah.
and then move next turn. So yeah, it's going all pretty well. We're going to have armies on parade in a bit, aren't we? We'll do
Yeah,
armies on
so
parade.
that'll be lunchtime. Arby's on parade.
Yeah.
We've hopefully got some people. We've got one in so far, but the Saga of Legend stories from people's.
There's definitely been some lots
big
of
ones.
interesting
Well, this is a
stories
good one.
coming
I'm not going to read it out, but
handed anything in yet.
Carl had an armless, literally Contemptor Dreadnought.
Kicking the Praetor to death.
And who was he playing? He was playing
Chris.
Chris.
Alpha Legion.
Yeah,
Alpha
and
Legion.
he pulled back
Yeah.
to fire, and then Carl
Ran
made
in
him.
and kicked him in the face off the side of the
Which swept him.
Yeah.
He swept the Praetor and his
Yeah,
bodyguard.
Kicked somebody in
I
the
didn't realise
With
Contemptors
no
had a
arms.
stomp attack, did you?
Yeah, they just ran him down in the corridor. Absolutely slaughtered in the corridors of the. I think what they were playing, they were on the table.
I think it was not something
Maglev.
you
the
expect.
Maglev, the
Maglev.
Maglev station. He ran him
It
down
was-
in the Maglev
It was
station.
for control of the terminal.
Yeah. So they absolutely smashing through it.
But yeah, we should get a few more of those. I've heard the stories. I think people will be right. And they got a longer lunch today,
an
so
hour
they
for
got
lunch
time to
rather
go
than
around
playing.
and do their hobby hero votes and
Yeah.
put their models out and
Yeah.
write up some Saga Legends. And then we'll have a busy round 5 reading through and getting it all sorted, ready
Getting it all
for
out.
awards.
I mean, let's see what the final scores are and see how it goes. So, I mean, I think at this point is let's just see how much the loyalists smash the traitors by. I mean, they need to generate nearly 400 points to get ahead.
Yeah.
We
With
say
the
that, I mean,
loyalists scoring nothing.
well, we see
That's going
It's,
to.
We've seen
it's
fif-
not impossible.
we've
but
seen
it's not,
55, 55. Is it 55 the
50?
highest? I think 50.
54, 55?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
55
but
is the highest.
that was Magnus.
Yeah,
That was
a
Magnus debombing.
Yeah, but yeah, it actually, you know, so there's the potential that you get 8 players scoring 50,
Yeah.
and you have 400 points. You
We
know?
haven't got 8 Magnuses though.
Yeah, that's the problem. The traitors are,
And he's on the wrong side.
yeah, and you got Magnus knocking him 50 around. I mean, the Magnus list is a third. It's 40 points ahead of the nearest next best player, and most people. An average score seems to be around the 20-30 mark.
Yeah,
So Magnus is.
It's not going to happen. It sounds like a sports presenter trying to talk up a Burton versus Man United game, and then
There's
Burton
an
aren't going to win.
outside chance the plucky underdog.
They may scrape. No, they're not going to do it.
But I think generally everyone's had a load of fun. I mean, the missions are pretty wonky and out there. I mean, if anybody wants any of the resources that we've used, missions, sheets,
Turn up.
Yeah, turn up. Yeah.
Fuck off.
No, I'll release. Yeah, all the packs are out there. I mean, I just want to flood the world with stuff people can do.
There's a lot out there, but if you want it,
if
give
you
us
want
a
to see
shout.
the stuff we're using, how we run it, just shout us a message. I mean, the event pack did go out all over Facebook, but not everybody sees it all the time. But
Just proofread it if you're going to use it yourself.
yeah, go through it, check the English, reading everything. Yeah, make sure you actually understand what's going away. Yeah, so it's all good. I think we're going to go have a wander and see how everyone's
Absolutely.
doing and some shit out. So cool. Catch you in a bit, guys.
The front lines clash, both sides desperate to drive the other out of the hive, but at what cost? Red alerts flash as incoming engineer reports indicate structural integrity breaches.
We're still in round 4, but we thought we'd grab the King Swedish Dick Kicker himself and get Jens on. So hello, Jens.
Hello, everybody.
So yeah, we've grabbed him before he outflanks his fucking glaive again.
Yeah, I got a nasty little card that can let me outflank my glaive.
Yeah, someone's going to have fun with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, how's your weekend been, man?
Oh, it's been great. Lots of beer,
Lots of beer.
lots of games. That's all you need.
That's all we need, yeah.
You on the ale?
You on the Monty Python?
Yeah.
Yeah, good choice.
That's
I'm,
right.
I'm starting to think.
I'm gonna have a
might
beer.
have to
I'll have
have
a
some
beer
beers.
with lunch. I've gone sober this morning, but
Yeah.
I was hanging out my arse this
Yeah, I'm
morning.
not going home until tomorrow lunch, so
Yeah, so you can
I
have a
can
few
get
beers.
shit-faced today.
That's one of the best things actually about travelling abroad,
Yeah.
because you do tend to travel Friday, Monday.
Yeah.
Whereas most people for the weekend, it's like, well, I can get pissed Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday I'm
sober
gonna be
Sunday.
quiet.
I've got wife and child duties this evening, so if I get too shit-faced, I might upset. I think we're going to a restaurant as well. So for dinner.
Perfect place to be.
Don't want to do a Johnny trick like last night in the restaurant. So I want to.
So how are your games been, man? What have you come up against?
I've come up against Alpha Legion, Dark Angels.
Oh yeah, you
more
had the
Alpha
Dark
Legion.
Angels off,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Lost that one. And some Night Lords as well, so...
Yeah. You
Good
had the glaive
matchups.
off, didn't you?
Yeah, my glaive won.
Yeah, it's because you had a tank hunting glaive.
Yeah, didn't have that much though. But I got first turn, so I got to shoot first. So
Yeah, that was the big one.
D3 plus 1,
Yeah.
haywire hits.
Yeah,
will
yeah.
do some damage.
Yeah, you can put 4, because what's the AP on it?
2.
So you could put, right, if you get 4, you get a
Yeah.
couple of pens.
Then maybe a 6. and then
Yeah,
you can-
6 again. You
yeah.
can do some damage
Yeah.
from one round of shooting. Yeah, because most of the time you look at glaives and you're like, right, kill infantry with it. But actually,
Yeah,
super heavy.
infantry and super heavy. Tanks not so good, but
Yeah.
infantry and super heavies, that's...
Yeah, and
that's
it's
a sweet
just
spot.
the haywire, isn't it? Because I've seen people being
Yeah,
who
no,
said,
just
it's
a
a
haywire.
strength 8, and then it's
No, it's just a haywire one.
just haywire.
Yeah.
That's pretty savage. That was pretty savage. Yeah, you played some Zone Mortalis?
Yeah,
Yeah.
played 2 games. Well,
Played-
3 games. We played an extra one with the Dark Angels guy.
Yeah. Have you played much Zone Mortalis before?
No, this was my second and third game. Some Mortalis.
Awesome,
So
awesome.
yeah,
Have you not got many tables out there? It's not something.
Freddie's got a few,
Yeah.
but usually play the big games when I play with Freddie.
Yeah. It's added a complication for us to get people
Yeah.
through it, but it's I think not a lot of people
Hasn't
here
it?
have
Hasn't it
played-
much? Such,
Oh, yeah.
bloody hell.
No, but it's quite easy if you just have a quick skim through the rules,
Yeah.
learn how the doors work.
Yeah.
Then you're pretty much set.
It's just a normal game.
Yeah.
Except for a few extra bits
Yeah.
and pieces. But yeah, no. It's
And
been
if
good.
people miss things out of the ZM rules, they still get a game. You can't
Yeah.
just sort of play
Yeah.
30k on odd terrain, really,
Yeah,
isn't it? So
yeah,
you kind of so if they fumble through and make mistakes, they might not realise it
No.
doesn't really matter. They still play a game.
I mean,
The
fun-
first game I played at Sommertal was like, yeah, we have no idea how to do this, so we're just going to play a normal game with
Yeah.
on this board.
Yeah, and see
So,
what
yeah.
happens. Well, we produced the cheat sheet, the two-sided thing, so I can make
Yeah,
that of it.
those
And that's
are
quite
great.
handy because
Yeah.
it's just got like the core things like blast, no
Yeah.
barrage, the shred on flamers
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, deadly ground and stuff like that. Just a few the few key bits because we haven't used the Blood and the Void expansion,
Yeah.
which adds another layer on it, and that's where you get rending on all strength 4 guns.
Yeah.
It's rending bolt guns. It's
Keep it
hilarious.
simple.
Yeah, that's what we thought. We'd try and get, and the same. That's why we had 6 set missions for them, so you could just. There's 6 missions. We know they work.
Yeah.
You can just get on and play them. And if you play a couple, as long as you play a different table, you'll play a different
Yeah.
mission each time.
Yep.
So what's been your highlight so far then?
My shit dice.
Shit.
Yeah, fucking ones all the time. The Dark Angels game I played, nothing but ones. Had it in the bag turn 3, then turn 4, failed a 5-inch charge with a reroll. Managed to hit with like 7 plasma shots, wound with 1. Yeah, and then he just tabled me.
Just absolutely
Yeah.
smashed.
And that was your highlight.
Yeah.
It was fun.
You can see how good the weekend's been.
And then the glaive off, yeah.
Glaive off
some
was
fun.
pretty good. And what have you had this weekend? You've had
3 wins and a loss.
3 wins and a
Yeah.
loss. That's not bad to be
No,
fair. Not
no.
bad for you.
No, I usually go like 50-50, so...
I always
see if
think,
I
yeah,
can-
if you've had a win and a loss, as long as you haven't had both,
Yeah.
all of one thing,
Yeah.
it's not too bad.
But I'm playing Tom the last game, so I might win that.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one because you got the Emperor's Children party bus where he's got
Yeah.
everything in there. I think he's got a Venator and a Rhino and a Stormlord on the table,
Yeah.
and you've got your Glaive and everything else.
Yeah, tank hunting Glaive.
Tank hunting, outflanking Glaive.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna go home and cry.
He's gonna be moaning.
You're gonna have
yeah.
to fling him some cards.
I might have a look. Yeah, you're just gonna be playing. It's gonna be more like Malifaux. You're just gonna be playing
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah, there's one game going on, and someone's got like 6 cards lined up.
I might have accidentally put a few too many out to the traitors, but they've been a
it's
bit
all good.
behind.
Matt and his Talons, he managed to play the ZM mission. He's played the weapons battery ones twice in 2 games and won the cards for both of them. So we've got 2 sets of weapons batteries, which is Strength 7 AP3 large blast barrage shot.
Yeah.
So 3 large blasts. He dropped them on top of 3 Vindicators twice. Destroyed 3 Vindicators. With that, he was like, well, that's the Vindicators that were going to kill my Custodes dead.
Oh yeah, they didn't need that help, did they? Really?
No,
But, oh well.
Talons there, but it's nice. You've got those things. It adds extra crazy shit going on. Like,
Well, it's just a fun event, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always
supposed
nice to have
balanced.
these little cards with special rules on
yeah,
them.
because you brought me up one of Freddie's strategy cards. I'm looking forward to having to go through
Yeah.
that because that's great. Because I love it. I just go and hand them out. He just goes and hands them out, doesn't he?
Exactly.
He's just go and fling them around now.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to use the Empiric Storm cards in the last round to really screw people, but I forgot to bring them.
All right.
I like the one that's like you can't take any invulnerable saves.
Yeah.
There you go, Custos, eat that.
Well, the system's set up. No matter how good you are, you probably won't win 5 games because there's so much random shit.
Yeah,
It's got to be quite an exceptional list or 2 maybe that kind of really brings that kind of negates some of that randomness.
Well, they're winning. The ones that are really winning are the ones who are smashing people off the table, and it wouldn't matter what was going on. They're tabling people in 3 or 4 turns. You can't do anything to stop that. So you know it's. But most people are having like. Because some of the lists that we've had in, you're like, oh, they're going to kick ass.
Yeah.
They've not performed. And some of the lists you went, oh, okay, fair enough. That's a
smashed. Yeah.
And then smashed for Cy Davis's Shattered Legions.
Yeah.
It's romped through everything. It's got his Salamander's Malkador flying down the middle of the table, just hammering shit into stuff, and Dark Angels and Salamanders flying everywhere. It's a real nice combo for Shattered Legions force.
And by accident, really, because he wanted to bring some of his Dark Angels, but hadn't finished painting enough. So he thought, well, I'll do Shattered Legions. Because he didn't want to just leave them at home.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's half finished army. He was like, well, I'll just bang a few Salamanders in there and we're all good.
Yeah, it's a nice little, it's lovely stuff as well. Talking about painting then, so have you had a look at other people's stuff? Anything that's really stood out?
Really nice stuff. Yeah.
Get ready to do your voting at lunchtime.
Ooh, yeah.
Any favourites so far?
Yeah, there's a nice looking Ultramarines army.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Carl's
really
he's a local player.
He paints it proper blue.
Yeah. Well, he's a local player and he's got the 2nd best Ultramarines in the local area. No, they're beautiful. Fair play.
He's a very, very talented painter.
Yeah, he did MKA Hobby Camp as well, and that's just pushed him to the next level. You know, he was a very nice painter. And now he's added the weathering and stuff on top. It's just like it's gone into the next one. But
he was very accomplished before. He's learned some extra techniques.
Both Emperor's Children players have got nice armies as well.
It's very nice Emperor's Children's army. 2 very different ones. Like you've got the Stormlord with the loads of cacophony riding around it and stuff, and then you've got Rob's very dreadnought heavy list, and they are beautifully painted. You know, has he got like 5 dreadnoughts in that list?
At least 4.
It's a couple of Derrideos.
It was hastily put together as well because he forgot he was coming. He bought the tickets.
I was chasing people for lists, and I put a post up like that. And he tagged the people, and he was like, "Oh shit, I forgot I was coming to this."
I've got
and he messaged me. He was like,
that.
"I kind of sold off most of my armies." He was like, and he sort of banged the list together. I mean, he's had a fairly. I think 12, 19, 26. So he's had some close games and a win, you know. So he's been smashing some games out and getting there, which is pretty good. I mean, to be honest, if I turned up and there was 5 dreadnoughts, I'd be fuck. How am I gonna kill all of this before they do damage to me?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Right. Cheers for coming on then, Jens. We'll go and grab you. We'll let you get back to wandering around and ambling about.
And, thanks for having me.
I'm going to go and I managed to get as far as Jens's table and then stop.
we need to actually do a bit of EOing and wander around and make sure people are okay. They clearly get on better than when we're not around.
Yeah.
Cool. Catch you later, guys.
Right. Bye.
Hive is now crumbling. Forces desperately attempt to outmaneuver each other. They must escape to the outer edges of the hive and away from the devastated structures.
Okay, welcome back. So it's still round 4, and we've just pulled over someone else to have a chat with. So this is Sam. So Sam's the resident heresy person at Firestorm Games, I suppose, and you're the
resident idiot of Firestorm Games.
Resident idiot, and you're going to be running the Ruination event.
I'm going to ruin everyone's weekend.
I'm looking forward to it. It's my only, no pressure, but it's my only gaming weekend to go away with all year. So, So before we get into that, so how have you found the event? Have you enjoyed yourself?
Tarsis has been, it's been a very entertaining weekend actually. I mean, I've had the horrible lurgy all weekend, but even though that's got in the way a bit, I've still had lots of fun. So
yep, well,
that's a sign of a good event, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you fought through. You've just won a game of ZM, didn't you?
Yes, against fantastic Mr. Carl.
Yes, these lovely
Ultramarines. Yes.
So
that's a very, very sexy army, if I do say so.
I'm very impressed with it. Really, really nice. So you're running Sons of Horus.
Sons of Horus.
So what was in your ZM list for?
Yeah, my ZM list is Abaddon, his friends in the Justarin with the various. It's like 3 chain fists, 3 power axes, a lightning claws, and something else.
Called Space Super Jock and his
Super Jock and his
mates.
And his mates. You're not my real dad. And then they got the Leviathan with it, which is really, really, really dirty in Zone Mortalis.
Yes, yeah, we put a 0-1 limit on those because we know someone would have brought 2.
Well, I paid extra points for the Phosphex on mine, and then I found out you can't use barrage weapons. So
no. Last time I ran when I had Phosphex on it, luckily it's only the one use, so you don't feel too dirty.
I wanted to block a whole corridor with Phosphex just for laughs. Doors made out of fire.
There's more Phosphex coming from Tom today, so it's than there are from
Tom's Phosphex. Is that a euphemism?
Well. So Ruination. Tell us how you're getting on with your planning for that. Well, explain what the event is for the listeners who might not be aware of where
basically,
it is. And
it's just going to be like a narrative event, very much like Tarsis, but ran my own idiosyncratic way rather than trying to copy anyone else. Bit of a git like that.
Rather than our crazy, messed up. Don't know what we're doing.
It worked at the end of the day. That's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Everyone had fun. I haven't heard anyone not having fun at Tarsis. So.
Yes, yeah, we've got a lot of returnees from last time. I think we've upped the numbers, and I think more than 2/3 of the people that came last time have bought tickets again. Those that could do. Some people didn't get in time because we sold out quite quickly, so it's done well. So it's 40 man at.
Hopefully 40 men.
You've had a couple of drops, but we've
had a few drops. Yeah, I mean, I can't exactly say how many spare tickets we still have in case people are interested, but I can say that if you are interested, come on the group, give me a shout, and if there is a space, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, so the dates are?
We're kicking off on the Friday for the fun times, not actually part of the event, but meeting up on the 13th, Friday the 13th. No. Ruination, what could go wrong? And then 14th and the 15th is the actual days of the tournament.
Cool, and that's October. So this show that the show that you're listening to now, hopefully will be out in enough time if you're free that weekend to give Sam a shout and try and pick up.
Hopefully we'll have some extra players coming along anyway, because apparently some people in Cumberland and Swansea are interested now, which is pretty cool.
Yep. I suppose that Firestorm's big enough to accommodate some extra gamers hanging about, and if they don't get a spot, they can just have a game anyway, can't they? There's enough tables there.
I mean, theoretically, we could go over the limit if we wanted to. There's enough room, but
it's about starting at a reasonable level, isn't it, and building the event name and going from there, I suppose.
I mean, because it's the first year on. If you think about the event as being an intellectual property, it's the first year of that IP.
Exactly. So. I think the level you went at was right, because Greg did one last year. And he had the podcasters kind of push it on and sell it on. I know it was a big event, and I think Cardiff is a perfect location, venue to have a really big annual Heresy event. I'm hoping that this will build into it.
I unapologetically love Cardiff. Yeah, I'm from here and I love it.
Well, it's close enough to Cheltenham, and I've been there a lot, and I like it. It's one of my favourite cities for going out for a bit of entertainment in the evenings and things. And Firestorm's an awesome venue.
Even Kurt's nodding. Cardiff must be good.
Kurt's mic's not on because Kurt's here just to man the desk at the moment. But
shout out to Kurt.
We don't trust Kurt. We can still hear you if you really wanted to say something. No.
I wouldn't dare speak.
What would you like to say, Kurt?
If I want to say anything, I'll just connect the mic up. But I wouldn't want to say anything against Stu while he's busy.
I just wanted to do my report a bit, and interview you for a second there. Hijacking your podcast.
Absolutely. Have you got anything else you want to shout out about Ruination?
It's going to be a narrative event. There's basically there's something fishy going on the planet of Gorvan Secondus, I think I called it. I should maybe pull the name out of my butt, quite frankly, as we tend to do.
Yes, yep.
And it's basically that there's like sort of 4 nodes of interest on this planet, and I'm not telling anyone exactly why they're interesting until the second, maybe third round.
Okay.
So the narrative will develop that way, and other than that, you'll get my friend Pasco shouting narrative in your face, going, "This is what is happening on this planet," blah, 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 blah. And then I don't have nice posh voice clips like you guys.
Well,
which I was very impressed with, actually.
Well, it's been fun doing them. It's quite hard to.
It comes across listening to them that you had fun doing them. So.
Yeah, it's hard to get the audio working here properly so everyone can hear it. It's
a pretty good sound system, though.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's just getting it to work. I think we just want it to be perfection, that Tom stops talking and that it goes play straight away, and then it's been a little bit of getting the sound desk to do this and that and stuff. But it's been fine, and all the listeners will have heard the audio clips, or will have heard some of them, because they're used as little segment breakers, so people will have already heard what we're talking about.
Excellent.
So cool. I can't wait for Ruination. I've still got some things to paint.
I can.
I've got.
Can we put it off for another 6 months?
In some ways, I've got 2.5 painted, but that's not a list I want to play, and I've got stuff on the desk I've got so much work on, and some nights to paint for a charity, which has got to get sent off next week.
I'm not going to be too fussy. I mean, as long as you've got 3 models down, it's fine.
Oh no, I will. I can't do that. I have to finish it. You know, my profession is painting as well. I can't.
You can borrow my Sons of Horus if you run out of time. It's fine.
No, I've got 2.5. I've got a list I can bring that's playable. I just want it to be better. More that I want to play, so I've got some Ogrins to paint. I've got a couple of other tanks that I want to paint. I have got a 2.5 list.
Oh, those Solar Ox Ogrins are lovely models, aren't they?
Yeah, beautiful, and they're half done. I just want the time to finish them, because then I'll be able to bring over 3K. I'll have a little bit of choice about what I do. But the list
should you choose, you can play Apocalypse on day 2.
Exactly. That's the thing. I want the options. I've got no problem. I've got enough models to turn up and play, so I'm not on a deadline where if I don't do it, I'm turning up with unpainted stuff. But it's not the list I'd want to play, and I painted it in order for. I don't know why I painted it in that order. Just because I did. I wasn't planning. I wasn't painting it for an event. So, and now I'm thinking, shit. I really
at some point, I'll have to come back
on.
and we can talk painting at some point.
Yeah, definitely. We like to do a bit.
Otherwise, we're going to go off on a tangent here.
Yeah, I think so. So we will leave you again and come back with a little bit more bullshit later in the show.
Lord Marshal, great sir. Legion reinforcements now visible on the left flank.
About time. The wolves, I see.
No, sir. Ultramarines, sir.
But they're wearing grey, Proclamator Fennec.
Fox message said new recruits, sir. No time to paint armour.
At least the Raven Guard are in black armour.
Sorry, sir. That's more Ultramarines.
For Emperor's sake, fox them and find out why.
Also new armour, sir. Their eye lenses are red, and the bolt guns are silver. 3 colours minimum, sir.
What the? Get on the Vox now and tell them to contact Miniature Realm Studio.
Miniature Realm Studio, sir?
Yes, Fennec. Miniature Realm Studio offers a commission painting service, competitive rates, and a range of painting standards to suit most budgets and requirements.
Yes, sir. I suppose they do say that fully painted is for closers.
What does that even mean, Fennec?
I don't know, sir.
Miniature Realms Studio can be found on Facebook, on Twitter at Miniature Realms, on Instagram at Miniature Realms Studio, or just drop Stuart an email at miniaturerealmstudio@gmail.com.
Hello, welcome back. It is round 5. Lunch has been eaten, many burritos have been gobbled.
No, I had 1.5 because one went missing, so he went and got me another one, and then it turned up.
Yours was named Mark.
Yeah. Obviously, I should have guessed.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, so burritos have been eaten. And we're into the final round. Traitors are still. Traitors are pulled it back. They're about 200-point gap behind now from 400, so they've had a really good Sunday morning. They've really smashed it. So if they did that again, there's a potential. So
it's not going to happen.
It's a bit of an outside shot, but
it's a simple last mission as well, isn't it? It's just
like
in your face fighting. There's barrages.
It probably plays into the loyalist list.
I think it will shoot the other way again, but it should be bloody. It might be quick for some people. It'd be interesting to see
what goes. Bloody and quick.
Bloody and quick. Well, after the video you just showed me, that would have been bloody and quick.
We've had the hobby vote in, so. The players have voted for the best hobby.
Yeah.
So painting, modelling, conversion, theme, the fluff that's been written for the army. But I think me and Stu have probably had one of the most taxing
Yeah,
jobs
very
of
much so.
picking a single miniature out of the armies. It was, we both, when we decided, we both agreed, but actually to whittle it down to that last one, you're picking very fine hairs between the top. I was very fine haired between my top 5. I think you were very fine haired between top 4.
Top 3 or 4, yeah. In terms of armies, definitely. In single miniature, I think there was a clear top 3 for me.
Yeah.
And my top 3 were in no order at the moment. Was Matt Marlowe's Scoria conversion. And you'd have probably seen that around the traps, as Tim would say. And Cy Davis's Lightning, yes, and Carl Woodrow's Vorax, wasn't it?
Yeah, and actually this is when we sat down and we compared lists. My top 3 were, and again in no particular order, Matt's Scoria, Carl's Vorax, and Cy Davis Lightning. I mean, I had a top 5 where I got Ben Fletcher's Magos.
Yeah, it's very well converted, really nice.
Beautiful, lovely job. Rob Medwell's, actually picking a model out of Rob Medwell's for single miniature, but my personal favourite was his Chaplain. I like the model, I like the base he's used, the way he's got it. I had James Hingley's Sevatar. That's very nice, but I think that wasn't done by him.
I'm not sure. Some of his armies
I'm not
painted
quite sure,
by his previous
but
owners.
I do like that model. And I had Tom Clowes' Praetor, a really nice conversion. His army was with us last year, and he'd done a very nice tabletop job on it. And we did have a chat at what could he do to take that on. Move it on a step, and I think we chatted about that to go back in and up the black now you've done the models is going to be very hard. And you talked to him a lot about
about adding texture and weathering them, and he's gone back and he's done lots of chipping and he's done lots of pigmenting and weathering. It's not all pigment powder, some of it looks like paint as well, but really nice job of using contrasting sort of dusty orangey mud around the tracks and things and on the boots, and it really stands out against the black, and it looks brilliant. It ties it all together fantastically. It's really nice, and as a piece, as an army as a whole, it looks I know we're talking about single miniature more here, but as an army as a whole, it's really good.
And his Praetor sits there and you can see the standard. I mean, like I said, the shame is the thing for me that dropped him out of my top 3 was the black still being flattened, because we were splitting such fine hairs.
Yeah, well, we're looking at high quality single miniature painting for the bit that only you and I were voting on.
So it was really tough, but I think we both settled in the end, didn't we? We came down with, and they're actually still playing, so I've got to be careful. We both settled on Carl's Vorax, didn't we? For the best thing on it. It is the choice of colour for me.
The choice of colour for me, definitely. The work he's done on the orange just works brilliantly with the blue. It's really good.
It's and it's not when you look at it's an Ultramarines Vorax, part of his British Pravian. You look at the standard colours from an Ultramarine of blue, white, gold, that standard colour palette. To go with the orange is very brave to move away from it, and it's not a Mechanicum colour as such.
No.
It really just makes it go. You go, wow.
It looks like it's attached to the Legion. It really screams, I'm attached to this Legion.
Yeah, but I'm not Legion, but I am part of the Legion. And the modelling. I know we were talking about painting, but the modelling he's done has accentuated it. He's positioned it in such a way to show off the best bits of the model. It's why you see a single. We were judging painting, but actually the modelling is there to accent. You've got to. There's no point.
When you're doing single miniatures, the composition of the whole piece.
Exactly. Composition. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's all elements, I suppose. With the hobby, which we're going to talk about in more detail in a minute. With the hobby scores, yes, it's a bit different. But when it's single miniature, like with any painting competition, you're looking at the technique, how well they've executed that technique, the composition, the quality of the finish,
the palette range, as well as the
choice of basing and presentation and all the rest.
It does pull it all together. What were we talking about with Johnny? What were you talking about with Johnny's army then? Because that was quite a good point.
This is more to do with the overall hobby award rather than a single miniature. But as an overall piece, the whole army is awesome, and the fluff he did and the conversion work. So as that is all 3 areas, all 3 prongs of that are fantastic. But his painting is great for army painting, but it's not that high a level. And if it goes up against some of the other painters who have also done brilliant fluff and brilliant modelling as well.
Yeah.
And that's where if they're slightly better on the painting, that's where maybe they were edged ahead of them in some of the. But again, we only had one vote for that.
What I meant was, I'm sure we were talking about bases. I was going to say, and that's how a base can make the model finish a model. You know, we've talked a couple of times. Who were we talking to? I think I was talking to Duncan with his Iron Hands, and he was talking about wanting to get some lessons on basing because he's always been a very simple, bit of sand, painting it, dry brush it, base a model. And he was saying he's seen this weekend. I think he was very taken with Rob Medwell's bases, and he just how that can show off a model. You can get a dynamic pose, and the base can really accentuate it. And the base does finish a model, properly.
Certainly does. I think it's the most important thing, and it can be done incredibly simply. And I think anyone can be taught how to do it.
Yeah.
The brush control is getting it on the base and not on the feet. That can be that simple. And there are things you can do with GW basing stuff and powders that will give you an amazing base. So I think everyone that struggles with basing could do a better job. It's one of my little niggles about
that's
things.
That's something you kicked me on a few times about pushing my bases.
I think your bases are fine, but
no, that's they're fine. They're not. They're the bit that I've got a couple of things I'm working on. My metallics. I'm doing my non-metallic metal with Andy to learn blending with a brush more. It's in Andy's course. He does say it is a non-metallic metal course, but you could also take it as a advanced brush technique course, and that's my push. And the other thing is pushing my bases on. Pushing my basing on as well, so that's the next thing on the pile list. Right, I can make a nice tabletop base. Now I want to make just push that base on.
Yeah, I'm just thinking more with just the basics on tabletop bases. When people do an arm, you often see an army that's painted to a decent tabletop standard, and it's someone that would be very open and say, look, I'm not a painter, but I like to play, but I want my army to look nice. And then you'll see that they've simple things like they've not painted the rims on their bases, or when they have, they've not done it properly, so that it's still the prime colour showing through. And I'm very much, not everyone will go with this. Paint your rims black. I've never found a scheme where I think it look better any other colour, but that's subjective.
It's not done till it's had a good rimming.
It's got to be black rimming.
Do you know what? Actually, the scale 75 flat black with the matte finish to it as well. Yeah, I love that on the edge of my bases.
I personally prefer satin on bases, but for me, the edge of the base isn't part of the display. It's from the flat upwards.
But it's the frame of the base. So I'm talking about photography when you do exhibitions. How you actually frame and present the image was crucial. What am I saying with it? And the big thing for the reason we put pictures in frames is because it creates contextualizes that whole base. So a rim on the base, a good solid flat rim around it, a nice black rim, just puts that edge around it and gives it a defined edge, and this is the model then.
It's the last thing I always do for my miniatures, and when I've done it, I always think that's it, that's popped out, down.
It is literally the last thing. Everything's done and it's right. Whiz around with the brush, and it honestly takes 10 seconds a model.
Yeah, it's my favourite part of the process. And if you've used a lot of textures and using powders and things, it really contrasts. So that smooth edge of the base really contrasts with it. And makes it and frames it like you've said.
Yeah.
Right then. So shall we talk about the hobby?
So I just realised I haven't actually started a timer for this round, but halfway they've had an hour, so I got an hour and a half timer. Sorry guys, this is really fucking unprofessional, but we were busy doing lots of things. Right, hour and a half left on the round. Yeah.
So so let's talk about the hobby hero.
So hobby hero is just
peer voted, isn't it?
Peer voted, and it's different to what me and Stu were looking at. Me and Stu were looking for a single miniature in a golden demon context, I would say. That kind of thing. The hobby hero was right. You might not be the best painter in the world, but have you created a uniform army? We're all cool, basically. It's the conversions, the fluff, the display, the whole aspect of the hobby. It's no good having one stunning miniature at the front and everything's done pretty blandly at the back. Does the whole army get up there? And we had two, right up until the last few votes we counted, two very close ones. Yeah. But do you want to mention your standouts?
Yeah, there are quite a few things that were notable for me. So there was some really nicely presented fluff.
Yeah.
So Johnny had really detailed fluff. Yeah. Jason had really detailed fluff. Carl did, and it was really nicely presented, not printed. Alex Winless had really nicely presented. Craig's was as well, and he only signed up like 4 or 5 days ago. Scythe Thorns fluff was beautifully presented, really nice little card and little A5 type sheet, really, really good. Matt's Army was really nice and fluff around it as well. Rob Medwell's done another really good job. Cy Davis and Carl. So there's all those kind of names that are in the mix for me. We only got 1 vote like everyone else.
Yeah, we voted.
But my top sort of 3/4 before I picked my favourite were Carl, Cy, who were my top couple, and the other Matt Marlowe and Rob Medwell.
You couldn't pick between them really.
I was really struggling. Like I was talking about earlier, I really liked armies like Johnny's that was in there. But because it was literally a trifecta of painting and fluff and composition, his painting's good, but those guys were just a level above in terms of
Johnny got
finish.
6 in 2 of the boxes, but not quite that third
not
box.
all
He
3.
didn't meet the level in that third
For
box.
me, it's subjective, and I was 1 vote out of 37 of us voted.
So it was pretty good. I mean, for me, I like Scythe Thorn's presentation. Cy Davis's army was stunning. Carl. I think Carl's army for me would have been better if he'd presented it a bit better, but I think he was on a ZM table. I didn't think he was quite sure about knocking it all out and putting that, but it didn't detract that much from the army for me. But I think he could have gone to town with the display, because that to me as well is how you've lined it up on the table. Because that's what I'm like when I do armies on display at events. I move terrain around and get my Gitterman stood on something, and make it kind of dynamic.
I want to start the display ball craze over here, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
we might have to do that at one event.
Yeah, it could easily be done.
Maybe the next weekend one next year.
Yeah, a display ball prize. For me as well, Craig's Styles and Sons, he'd done a really nice presentation of fluff. He done what I'd done. He thought about the way he composed the army on the table for the display. That was really nice. What else did I like? I love Jens's army. I love the mix of Dark Angels and Sisters, because it's a combo you don't see. The way he's got some really interesting bits, and the banners he'd chosen, and some really interesting bits. And actually, from seeing Jens's army in No Retreat in March, he's done his MK and he's gone back. So I can see how that army's
done bits
how that army's grown and improved. He's gone back to the glaves on it, about his 3rd paint job. But that is his baby. I mean, we do think he's got a baby carrier for it, because no one's ever seen him without his glaive at the moment. So there were some stunning armies about. But again, the voting came in. It was close up until the end. And again, I'm going to be a little quiet because there's people around. But Carl snuck it in the end as well. He did. It was very close. Him and Cy Davis were neck and neck most of the way through the voting. So
he snuck it at the end. So, and again, we were just one vote each out of the 37 people, and I think his army was, as a finished piece, painted wise, was for me the standout as well. That was Cy Davis was extremely close for me.
Oh god, there was almost
but
nothing.
Carl's fluff was neatly presented on coloured paper and things, and all these things sort of come into it.
It's tiny things that have separated them.
Really tough. I'm glad we weren't having to choose
that
like we did the single miniature, because it would be a lot harder. I'm glad I was just one
vote.
vote.
I mean, overall, one of the best things for the weekend for me has been able to go around and look at every table. Every army was fully painted to the best of their painter's ability. Everybody had done some fluff for their army, whether it be half a paragraph or a 3-page fucking essay on it. Everyone had done what they felt they could through it. Everyone has stepped up and said, I will do what I can. No, I've never expect anybody to get to the highest standards on everything, as long as everybody's done what they can. And that's the thing that struck me, is nobody's gone, fuck it, it'll be alright. Everyone's gone, right, I'll push it, I'll do it. Even if I'm not comfortable writing fluff, I'm going to try and put a few words down, I'm going to try and put a bit down for my army. I'm going to paint I'm going to make sure it's finished and based and sorted. And everything's been done for it. So I was dead chuffed with it all in the end. It was really good.
Absolutely fantastic. So,
cool. We better go and chase up these last few games, get the last few votes in, and it'll be trophy time.
Absolutely.
Excellent. See you later, guys.
With the hive now beginning to collapse, the combatants can see no way out. Glorious last stands are made. Nothing is left but to bleed the enemy and satisfy the need for vengeance in this war without winners.
Welcome back. So it's the tail end of round 5. Most of the results are in, and we've dragged over podcasting superstar Jason from Sons of Heresy. So how have you found the event?
Hi, everybody. The event has been amazing. I've had a really good time. We've had the hostess with the mostest, Chippolita.
But he wasn't He wasn't the mostest yesterday morning.
Half a chip. He was chocolate.
Microchip.
He was chocolate chip cookie yesterday. Microchip. The event's been really fun. I came to the last Tarssis, I believe, unless there was one on the way, in between, and you guys have really stepped up your game. It's been super cool. There's been audio snippet narratives, which I'm sure you guys have talked about at some time.
Yep.
But it's been really fun to kind of be part of that. You guys also, what I really like is have stepped out and had TOs distributing stuff, so the players don't have to worry about it, and that's been super relaxing, so people can just enjoy the narrative and game. Zone Mortalis, I think, has been a huge enjoyment for me in this, and I actually volunteered to do more Zone Mortalis games. We're doing a Zone Mortalis campaign on Sons of Heresy, coming up soon. If you want to listen in October.
Looking forward to it.
Shameless plug. So I think part of the reason I wanted to do Zone Mortalis is I'm so used to it. And it can be a lot of fun. And I loved that jumping back and forth between Zone Mortalis and the big games. Really good idea, guys. And the level of terrain you guys have done has been awesome. Just getting all those Zone Mortalis kits together. I mean, what, it's been a year since the last?
Yeah, we've done a lot. Tom's done a lot stupid amounts of building. I've done some of the tables and things myself. So we've built a lot, and we've held a lot of it back, so it's not been wrecked for club use in between as well. So,
right.
We've really increased the number. How many tables did we have last time? We had 10 tables, yeah. So Tom's in the background there doing some admin. So we had 10 tables, and we didn't have enough for the amount of people we wanted to have. So we needed to do a lot more scenery, and we've done it. I think all but Citadel Realm of Battle and one lot of tiles. Everything's on a mat.
Yeah.
So we've increased the number of mats, so it's just a nicer gaming experience. So we've put a lot of effort into that.
How many tables do you guys have?
That's the maximum. That's everything. So in terms of the trestle tables they fit on, that's the maximum we have out. So there's 11 standard tables there, and then there's 6 ZMs.
Okay.
So that's the maximum we can do. We couldn't squeeze anything more in the place.
It's good though. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's a cavernous event where I don't know people. I've gotten to meet people. You're doing the 5-game thing, which is so much more mellow than the 3rd game on the 2nd day, which I always am just I don't care if I win, I just want to leave.
I'd be the same. I was talking to someone earlier off mic about this. I was saying I could be happy playing 4 games, 2 on each day, and just bigger games, maybe 3K games or something.
I'm kind of like that too. Well, that's another reason why I was happy to do Zone Mortalis games, because I'm I get just as much enjoyment, but there was less work on my end doing it.
And you spend more time chatting and
exactly.
hanging out.
And I like to chat. There's been rumors that I do like to chat.
I don't know where that's come from.
How do you feel running the event? How do you like it? How's it been for you?
I think we've just about ticked the boxes of the things we wanted to change and improve on. So adding more narrative that was not just in the pack, because no one reads the pack. It was there for everyone.
Well, that's actually a really astute thing and a good thing to know, because people don't read the pack.
Yeah.
So, and the thing I've noticed that you guys have done to kind of assuage this problem is you have the rules on every table.
Yeah.
The rules have been fairly simple. The scoring, even though there's some complexities to the scoring, when I had questions, I was like, why didn't you? Oh, they did actually put that on the sheet.
Yeah.
So you've posted all of those rules on the sheet.
Rules on the score sheet, ZM cheat sheets and stuff, because not many people play it. Yeah.
After the first game, everybody got that, which was great. So what would you do? What did your takeaway from this? What would you do better? What would your step up be? Because I think you guys have done a really good job.
The bits that felt bad is the bits that we wanted to be smoother, whereas the matchups, and I'll come back to that in a minute. Just getting the audio to work on time more. So me doing it and then trying to draw the tables and then not knowing how to work the desk. So little things like that, and Chip wasn't always on that. That's not something you can always get someone extra just to do that. So they're not always available.
Yeah.
That might be more us just feeling the pressure of press play, and no one actually matters. No one cares about that. So that might just be a personal thing.
I don't think. There's nothing wrong. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with wanting that to go smoother and having a smoother presentation. But on my side as a player, it was fine. Like we had a laugh. We did that, like waiting the 10 seconds for you guys to figure it out was not a big deal. It was more like, we're there with you as you're having audio troubles, laughing about it, and then the cool audio plays that you guys took the time and bothered to record, which was cool to have that.
We wanted to do visual as well.
Yeah.
But the layout of this place makes it almost impossible. You could only do it upstairs, maybe.
Yep.
But then the tables are fairly packed, so you getting everyone upstairs to do all the announcements for round could be difficult as well, because you'd have to. People would be knocking tables, and someone's tray will end up on the floor. Like I knocked your dice tray off. Remember last time?
Oh yeah.
I managed to pick it all back up before you turned back at your
I
table.
wasn't even there. Yeah. I think visuals would be really cool.
So if we can find a way, we were going to do it. It was going to go on that wall. We just realised that only 10 people could see it, and the people that walk off or don't pay attention at announcements or just couldn't physically get to the view. So we decided not to do it because we wouldn't have done it right. Doesn't mean we won't do it in the future. What else? The matchups. Let's go to the matchups then. So we wanted to, because it's narrative, there's no Swiss, we wanted to make sure that we pick the matchups as best we possibly could to allow people as many grudges throughout the weekend as possible. We're factoring in each round. There has to be 6 ZM games and it has to be 11 normal games because that's the number of tables we've got.
Yeah.
And then you got the Lloyds versus Traitors, and you try not to make people play more than once. So the first round you whacked them in, it's fine, and then you got a grudge, and then you put something in the wrong column, and it was a headache. So we spent probably 40 minutes at the beginning of each subsequent round planning it, and in round 2 there was a mix-up. It didn't take long to fix, but we want that to be seamless. So
did you guys do this by hand?
There was a spreadsheet, but it was no formula to it.
Isn't there some sort of software? I don't know if you have to pay.
This is what we're going to look into now. Okay. There is for Swiss, easy.
Yeah.
Whether there is for, I'm sure a whiz on Excel could knock up something with enough macros in it that would overlay tabs with, once you've played, it will block you out for the next one and generate the table numbers. If we could do it, all the stuff we were doing by hand, by pressing a button, then brilliant, just by entering a few stuff. So that's the next challenge. Whether we can do that by next year, I don't know.
So if any awesome listeners want to do a macroed up Excel sheet, I'm sure that you guys would love it.
Yeah, it's something that can say, yes, you've played this person, knows when you've played a ZM game, knows when you can put grudges in, so it's got that flexibility, and generates a table randomly as well. There's quite a lot of elements.
So again,
I'm sure it can be done.
On the player side, I found it very interesting. So my first match was a grudge match, and then that was, because it was just like me getting called out.
Yeah,
which is awesome. And then I think later did you actually put me together with Craig, or did Craig want?
Yeah, we made the choice. Yeah.
Okay, because Craig again actually had said like, I want to play you.
We knew it'd be a good game, so we made a lot of calls like that. We think this person will have a good game with that person,
and that was a lot of fun. There was Thousand Suns versus Thousand Suns, which was sort of an odd fight, but it turned out to be amazing.
Yep.
One of the most interesting matches I had, and that's just because I just found out the psychic phase, when it's balanced, it's super fun. Super fun.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I've had really good matchups. Like, I think you guys have done a really good job, and I think that works very well if you take the time to kind of look at those matchups and put them together.
Yeah.
Probably not the easiest for you guys.
No, and we'll keep doing it the way we were doing it until we get a better. I think the system of us, the way we wanted to achieve it was good, but we'd probably like something to generate a lot of it, and then we edit what it generates rather than kind of all doing it from looking at a piece of paper, looking where a cross is. There's me waving my hands around in a lovely audio format, but it was a little bit, at times you thought, it felt like there must be a better way of achieving what we're doing without putting pressure under ourselves.
If I had to do a critique,
Yep.
The card system, well, it worked better this year with the TOs handing it out. I never, and this might just be me, I never used my cards. Like, I used them a couple of times. And a lot of times the really powerful ones I felt bad using. Because I got a crazy one. And that was warned by Tom. Like, there are some crazy ones in there. And I got a crazy one. I never ended up using it. And I gave it away to the Zone Mortalis one.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And but I really like the cards at the same time. So
maybe look at whether they need toning down or not, so that people think.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm just trying to think. Like, there was a dissatisfaction I had with the cards, even though I loved them. Like, the presentation of them, a lot of the powers were fine. I just didn't end up using them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if maybe like tying the cards into like objectives of the game or something, and using them, basically making them more involved.
Yeah. Well, your ZM ones, by winning your ZM game, you won. They were probably more linked than anything else because you won a card that was so the maglev. You actually won the maglev card back. So by achieving the mission with the train, and then you got your card, and that was linked. So that was good. And we wanted to do that, but because we didn't have enough. I think original thought process is you think, oh, let's have a whole round of ZM, and the winners then take that forward to the next. But because we don't have enough tables to do that, and space, it means that people are winning that objective at different points of their own little narrative within the event. So it kind of becomes a little bit dispersed.
I almost think that there's too many cards. Like
probably.
No, I'm just kind of thinking about this. Like, so if they were more scarce. And like you had to like win the ZM one, then get the ZM one, and then you could use the ZM one, and that's the only one you have. That might actually make it more. And you could too. You only get this for the next round, so you have to use it. Like, because that was the other thing. Like, I ended up hoarding all my cards to like the end, and then like I did Zomatal, so I passed out a bunch. That was inconsequential. Yeah. But then like I had all of my cards for the last one. Like, putting a time limit on it and making them scarce to kind of like invent that false scarcity might make them more exciting. Yeah. Because like I said, the cards themselves are amazing. Of what you guys have done, and I really like the feel of handing them out and stuff. And I like when you were handing them out, like, so you were our trader TO. Our War Master. You need a War Master badge, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, we took on some of the stuff you said about the not having a player War Master, because sometimes people want to do it, and sometimes people don't, and it's people have paid to come to an event, and they shouldn't necessarily be doing that. The problem was, because of the way it was set up, the cards were given out automatically. There was actually less for us to do other than hand you a sheet.
Of course,
so we lost some of the stuff that we were originally planned to replace that we didn't do last time by standing there and handing them out. And because of the matchup process being a bit fraught at times, we had less time at the beginning of that round to really pull it together and do more than a talk of who's playing Talons? and
take these cards. Yeah, you're gonna need them.
And it was funny, but that's what as the traitor War Master, that's what I was doing, because the traitors have been behind the whole time, and it was kind of stealing extra cards off the table and just trying to give away stuff to help people that in matchups and they might struggle.
So this brings up a point I kind of am curious to talk to you about, if you're okay with me delving into something else. How do you guys feel about Talons? Like, Talons are very contentious right now, and Talons and events are very contentious right now, and traders are having issues. So, and as a TO, how do you feel about it? What is going on with that?
We've discussed it a lot.
Yeah.
And we still don't know what to do next year.
Completely understand.
But we are planning a show, which will probably be in November now, where we get a few people on to have a round table talk. And you'll be invited definitely along to that. We've already discussed it. So we'll go into it in more detail there, but it'd be really good to have a few sort of people on from different areas of the hobby scene, especially in the UK scene, and talk about, is there a way to do it? I come from a multi-system gaming background, and one side says, well, you comp it, don't you? But then in our narrative system, which is different to any other system out there, comp is the way to madness, because as soon as you do one thing, and then it's going to be, well, what about this then? This is just as broken, this needs fixing, and this needs fixing. It's really difficult. So that's one option. I know, listen to the Eye of Horus guys, they've been talking about people running at sort of 80% points levels for them and running them under. I think it's the points. I think their rules are fine. I think they're fluffy and designed to be what they... The problem is they should struggle more with their low numbers than they do, and the way for me to get around it, I think they need to be more expensive or they get less.
Well, something I've noticed that you've done is arguable whether it's comp or not, is you've put a campaign point system in there, and you're rewarding people for killing like Lords of War, or super heavies basically, because it doesn't affect whether you win or lose the game. So there's two columns that they have. I don't know if you guys have talked about this, so I'm just going. There's the win or loss of the game, and then there's campaign points, and the campaign points still count towards the overall victories, I don't know if they count towards personal victories or not. We're
not really tracking personal victories on
the
works.
So anyway, it counts overall. But like, what happens is if you fight super heavies, you could lose the match, but then get like 20 campaign points because you killed 4 super heavies. So you've, in a way, made that less advantageous to take that, which is in the scoring version of the thing.
Yeah.
A bit of balance.
Yeah, I think
it's less comp, more balance.
I think that was Tom's intention, was to sort of design elements that balanced out some of the skew lists.
I'm just curious if you guys are thinking about doing something like that with talents, because that is an interesting.
Maybe. I think we still don't 100% know what to do yet.
Yeah, it's a hard question.
I've got a feeling that give it another 12 months anyway, that the scene's naturally going to slow down with them because people have played them and they'll move on to other armies.
Yep.
And in some ways, the delay in Book 8 is a shame, because those people that always migrate to the new thing won't necessarily do that straight away. So I think it will wind down as more and more talented players are thinking, I don't want to, I like the army, but I feel bad playing it all the time, and they'll maybe go back to older armies and things. So I think it will happen naturally a bit anyway. But this is the first time that I think the 30k scene hasn't been able to self-comp itself quite the way, because you can't pick a week, especially Custodes only list. You can tone down Thousand Suns. Yep. You don't take Magnus, it makes a huge difference.
It's insanely better.
It's a really, really tough one. Right, we're going to have to stop because we're going to go to the results.
All right.
Tom's waving around behind me, and everyone's waiting outside. So,
bye everybody. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, and we will get you, if you've got time. We'd love to get you guys on to have this roundtable discussion episode we're going to do about what to do with talons and maybe
we're gonna
other things.
Skype it, right?
Yeah.
We can totally do that. That's awesome. Just give us a heads up.
Yeah, when we plan on what we'll do. So thank you for coming on. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And thanks for your feedback.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for running such an awesome event, guys.
I wanna be. I don't know. Fuck it. I'm so fucking tired. I am so fucking tired now. So bear with me with this, guys. So I will try and get this right. I got it fucked up last year, didn't I? I think I gave awards to the wrong people and stuff. So if you might get handed a trophy, it might not be fucking right. But I've got notes this time and I've actually written it down. So first things first, my voice is fucked. I've been smashing the cock all day. So. First, in all seriousness, thank you guys for coming, and thank you guys for making the effort you have. You know, some of you travelled a hell of a long way from abroad, you know, around the country. You know, everyone's, hey, yeah, fucking hell. Yeah. Somebody even made it 20 minutes, even though he couldn't get the bus. Yeah, fucking hurry up. Fucking hell. So yeah, thank you guys, and for all the effort you put in for your armies and your fluff and everything. You know, I've been to a lot of events this year. I've travelled around the country. I've done lots of shit, and you know, it's kind of the dream come true for me to have it all here. You know, amazing tables. I've knocked my nuts out trying to build tables to justify your armies. You know, be at the same level. And I'm glad you've come along with armies. You know, at the same level. Everyone's made a fantastic effort to get shit done and meet up with the same sort of standards. So, you know, cheers, guys. I do really appreciate that. So that's the bullshit over at the start. I should probably say thank you to Chip for actually doing something and funding it. Cheers to Dale and Chip, and you know, support your local independents and your independents in the community. Chip likes to sell shit, send him stuff. You've got to put food on his kids' table, so you know, you've got to buy some Sentinels from him so he can afford to give them a McDonald's again. So buy some shit. Yeah, big thanks to everyone. So first up then, we're going to go with the award me and Stu picked, which was the Painting Paragon. So single model. I'll be quite frank, it was a fucking ball ache, wasn't it? We were splitting hairs on models, you know, getting so picky to choose between about 5 or 6 really high-end models that we couldn't split. They all had their bits that were just stunning, you know. So it was a real hard decision for us all, and that's brilliant. That's the best thing you could ask for, is to, you know, for that to be a struggle is brilliant. Goblin, yeah. None of you had square goblin green bases, so you know, I did have to go and look at the 20, 30-year-old Eldar that are hiding in the office that don't see light of day anymore. But yeah, I think we came down to one model, and it was something when we started the discussion, we both agreed on straight away deserved to be up there. And it was the one that really stood out for us. It was Karl's Vorax. You know, it was a stunning model. I don't know if you've had a look at it. Well done, dude. Yeah, take the box as well.
Drop, smash.
Yeah.
Another one, please.
Do you know how much I've shit myself all weekend about dropping those boxes? I'm terrified. But yeah,
Back in the box now,
yeah.
he will have a heart attack if anything happens to those now.
Yeah, it's not my problem no more. It's on its own. Yeah, but Carl's Vorax is stunning. Check out Carl on Studio Dropship. He's just started his Twitch channel as well. There's some stunning models on there. It was really, really nice. But like I said, guys, we were splitting hairs on models, weren't we, to try and come up with a winner in the end. That was some stunning entries. So next up then, there was the one voted for by you lot, Hobby Hero. And again, it was pretty damn close with it. Most armies got a vote for stuff. You know, that said more to me about anything that most armies took a vote from somebody. In the end, it came down to 2 armies, came very, very close, and it was the last couple of tickets that sort of put one ahead of the other. And actually, well done, Carl, you take a second trophy. You got 2, you can drop one and Khalil keep one. He turned up with Ultramarines, of course he was going to win. I mean, he scored 1,000 points a round. Sports.
You've obviously enjoyed this one, Tom, because you've left a bit of tissue in it.
I left the tissue in there because we had to clean it off earlier. But yeah, so
That's the one Tom really liked.
I really like this. To be honest, I will say, above painting and all the other awards, for me, when I go to events, this is the award I like. This is the one that means more to me than most things. It's the best sport.
You never won this
I've won one.
Oh, you have?
I won it in Gibraltar when we went to a whack tournament. Apparently, I'm the nicest whacker out there. I was so drunk that weekend. So you weren't much better, I'll tell you that. Alex, I'm going to pour you a whiskey and Coke there. There's 3/4 of a bottle of whiskey in it, and I've shown it some Coke. You know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. What was it Per was saying last night about coffee? You fill it up till you can't see the penny, and then you pour vodka in it until you can see the penny again. Yeah, one of those. It made me realise a lot of vodka in your coffees. Yeah, best sports. And again, every single player took a vote for best sports, and again, that says more to me about the event than everybody enjoyed playing people. That to me is great. So everyone can be really proud of walking away knowing somebody enjoyed their game with you. You know, if I go away and people don't want to stab me, I'm usually all right. But it came down to actually the last vote came in, and it's 2 points between first and second place. And our first place best sport for this weekend was, yeah. No, the bastard didn't win this one. It was actually Dan Evans. Well done, dude. Really well deserved.
Don't drop that one.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm lovely in real life.
Really?
No. Right. Now it's over to you guys to decide this last one. So the last one up is our Saga of Legend. We've had some really good entries in for this. So me and Stu and Kurt have been through and picked our top 3 favourite ones. So I'm going to get the top 3 to come and read theirs out. So first one to come and read out is Per. Come and read your story to the group.
In English, please.
No, do it in Norwegian.
What, into the mic?
Yeah, do it into the mic.
Det var en mørk og stormfull aften. No? All right, try it again. In English. Veteran Sergeant Makir chanced a look over his shoulder, seeing the bloody chunks of flesh that was the only remains of his squad after the Vanquisher's shell struck. Tearing off his helmet, blood streaming down his face, he roared a curse at the Belter's scum and charged, death or glory, into the Grenadiers. Their bolters and blows astoundingly all glanced off his battered artificer armor, and he tore their leader in half. The rest broke and ran. Vengeance burning inside him, he chased them down, slaying them all. Covered in the gore of 20 men, his own and his enemies, his death was mercifully swift as he was vaporized in a blinding flash of last cannon fire only seconds later. Glory to the 4th.
Go. Stand here for me. Belters die in tunnels unless you crack a window. Don't leave belters in hot tunnels. So second up, we've got the Glaive car crash. So come on, Tom, come and read your Glaive car crash out for us.
So the battered tanks of the Dark Angels blocked the way for the Night Lord's super heavy. A voice came over the Vox. "Why have you stopped?" the voice hissed. "My lord, the way is blocked." "Then ram them," the Night Lord's commander ordered. As the Glaive rammed, all 3 tanks exploded.
Just hold on here for us. And I genuinely promise it's not a fix, so Carl, come and read your third one out.
You want me to, yeah, I wish I'd written so much now.
I've got sore lips.
Yeah. Brother Atrax's rage was beyond measure, the Alpha Legion melter guns having severed both arms at the servo joints, cable sparking and dripping oils. With a Vox roar, Atrax charged the Alpha's Praetor, crushing veterans underfoot and smashing them aside with the bulk of his Contemptor chassis. Atomantic shields popping, he smashed the Praetor through the wall and into the Hive's furnaces.
Yes! Hang on up here for us a second. Carl! Come back! Right, so we're going to do our really scientific measure here. I want you to scream for your favourite. So, Per? Tom? Carl? I think you win by default, Per. You get the joy of taking really fragile glassware back on a plane.
How the fuck am I going to get this into my own in-cabin luggage? It's that way I need the paper wipes. Thanks.
Well done, dude. Well done. So, there's only one thing left to say, really, isn't there? And that's to give you the final scores. If you've been to any of the last 2 events, you know the traitors have given the loyalists an absolute damn thrashing the last 2 events. They have hammered the crap out of them. And I'm pretty sure, because Tarssis is that important, that Forgeville broke the Talons list just to make sure that we got our own back here. So it was, going into this day, it was about 400 or 500 points out, wasn't it, this morning? Yeah. I'll tell you what, the traitors turned up today. They really turned up. They managed to claw it back. Or it's probably the fact that the loyalists were so drunk last night. The final result was traitors 1,249.
Thank you, that's all you need to know.
Loyalists finished the day on 1,564. So, if you've enjoyed this crap, I know I'm going to work out tomorrow if I've enjoyed it or not. We'll see how I feel. We're going to run 3 events next year. It's fucking great. Why not? Let's do one.
What bright idea was that?
The dates will go up. The dates will go up sometime in the next week on the Geno Facebook page and in the Geno group. So if you're not following us on there, give us a follow. Download the podcast. This one will probably be out early this week. So you'll hear all the crap we've been talking about you while you've been playing games. So, yeah, we're going to release them. We'll give you the dates for the year. We've learnt a few things from the release date of the tickets this year. No drinking on Fridays. So the tickets...
Or Saturdays if your name's Johnny.
Tickets will go on sale 3 months before the event, but you'll get the dates for the year, so hopefully you can plan. We'd love to have you all back. Next one's going to be a doubles event, so we'll get some more of you down here. 1,000 points a player, Centurion, no named or unique characters, Shadow War missions, so it's going to be a carnage. It is the death of the Hive, and there should be an audio-video clip out in the next few days telling you what the hell's gone on. It all depends how bad I am tomorrow, really. Not a lot. But anyway, thank you guys. I think on that note, it's time to go fucking home, isn't it? Thank you all guys very much. See you soon. Right, welcome back, guys. As dust is settled, the Loyalists have smashed the living hell out of the Traitors. I think the final score came out at 1,249 to the Traitors
Yeah.
and 1,564 to Loyalists. They did claw it back.
They clawed a bit back.
They clawed it
Not
back.
quite as bad as we thought. The last round could have made it into a horrible thrashing.
there
But
was
it's
some
still a
good-
thrashing, isn't it? Really.
Some good battles, but we thought we'd grab two-time champion Carl now. So, guys, you obviously heard as we were recording earlier, we mentioned Carl picked up the Hobby Hero and he picked up the single model from me and Stu. You know, so how's your weekend, Carl?
Oh, it's been absolutely amazing. I mean, I got to say, this has been my first 30k weekend. My first games of 30k, my first games of Zone Mortalis. So it's been a steep learning curve. It's a cliff, more like, on some games. But every single game has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
There have been high points for me, low points from the story, but not one player I have played has been anything but an absolute hero.
Yeah.
They've just been a great ambassador for 30k and just show why it's such a wonderful, wonderful hobby.
Yeah, I mean, when we were counting up, we've done the best sports vote, and every player received a vote. So somebody, it was either their best or their second best game. Everyone has played. Everyone has got that recognition. I mean, and even again, there's not huge swathes of points in between it. It did come down to the last slip that came in that split the last two guys. You know, and that's amazing. You know, to see that. To see that, you know, everybody's enjoyed it. Everybody's enjoyed playing everybody, and it's come down to that. But yeah, so it's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. So what was your highlight from the weekend?
I think the highlight was just throwing myself into 30k and seeing just the incredible standard of armies that people bring.
Yeah.
And I've never faced that sort of narrative event where there are so many, you know, fictional heroes that you either love or you love to hate from the Horus Heresy era, and then you face them on the table and you see why you love them or you see why you absolutely hate them. You know, I'm not going to name any names like Night Lords, but you know, absolutely horrific to face.
Night Lords have been rampaging around the table.
They rampaged through my Ultramarines, that was for sure.
But yeah, we've tried to think when we've been picking games. We were talking about this with Jason earlier, but picking not just games that will be balanced and even, trying to make sure people are playing games that they're not just going to get their head kicked in from, but also what's going to be fun to play. You know, so Night Lords versus Ultramarines, it's Pharos, they're going to rampage, and your list having quite a chunk of infantry and stuff will. You know, rampage. It would give you a tough game considering some of the games you've played. So we tried to build a bit of narrative into the matchup. So you know, so yeah, you can play Pharos. You know, you played the Word Bearers in the first round. You know, it's great. Play Calth. You know, try and build those kind of things into the games to make it fun. You know, and like you said, and to play those characters that you want to see on the table.
Absolutely.
They're all new to you, I suppose, and Andrew's a really good player as well. We just found out that he's scored the most points, didn't we? Second most points. So, he knows how to use his army. He's been playing it a long time, and they're tough when they get you in combat, aren't they?
Oh yeah, and in a way it was quite interesting because Andrew was my last game, and it was the game probably where I made the biggest fist of it and gave him a good fight. So it's really good with a player of his level to be able to give him and push him to the edge on it.
That's you getting used to your army over the 5 games, and then
I find over a 5-game weekend. I learned so much about playing. I mean, that's been the biggest thing for my gaming this year is getting out and playing events. You know, I've played all different types of events. I went to Gibraltar and played the tournament. I went and played narrative events, played small tournaments, big narratives, little narratives, and the stuff I've learned about playing my game. It's all well and good. You look at a piece of paper and put some units down and think, oh, let's do this. Actually getting out there and using them, it's great fun, and you get an affection for models. You know, I've got certain models in my army that just attached to that guy, that sergeant. Done. It's my favourite's my apothecary. So he's just a basic bitch apothecary. He runs around with the Primarch. I was fighting Pete in Southampton, and we got into this Fulgrim Gilliman fight, and we're running around, and Pete's got his sergeant in his squad with 2 power fists. I mean, it's a useless combo, but he loves this dual fisting Emperor's Children sergeant, and. So they're getting in there. So he's waiting to punch an infantry one. I'm like, I roll up my dice. We do Gilliman, do the suzerain. I'm like, oh shit! I've got my apothecary. He's got 3 attacks with his chainsaw. So like, chugga, bum. 2 hits, 1 wound. Pete's like, oh, my sergeant's the nearest guy. Artificer armor, 2-up save on his favourite sergeant. So it's 1. And I love that. So I'm building up some new apothecaries. So I need some extra ones, and they're the newer models. And then my one's just a kit bash, a very basic kit bash. And I'm like, should probably put the really nice model in with the prop. It's like, no, his apothecary rolls with him, you know, that because he's that hero. And I love weekends for that kind of stuff, you know, generating story and stuff for your army.
It does, and you start to build up your own story as well. So this, as I say, was the first time I've done 30k. So it was the first outing for my Ultramarines as an army altogether. And I already have my favourite. I have my favourite Contemptor, which had both his arms blown off, and yet still managed to, you know, kick an Alpha Legion Praetor off the board with his veteran squad by sweeping them up, by just booting them around the zone Mortalis.
He ran into them, headbutted one dude, they ran away, and he just stomped them into the ground. That was amazing.
And equally my Cestus Pilot, who just does not know his way around anything and can't turn up half the time.
I love it. You get affectionate attachment to it. And it's one of the best things about it. Is like, I mean, you met a load of people, you get to play armies and stuff. It's great. So, yeah, I think it's been overall a pretty damn good weekend.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been hectic for brief bursts during the beginning of rounds, but other than that, we're tired. We've got some recording done. We've relaxed. We've chatted to loads of people. It's been really nice, and the atmosphere has been brilliant. And we've not felt needed really, which is good. That's a good sign.
I've been talking a lot, especially to you, Stu, in the lead up about. I have worked really hard, and you and Kurt as well. Worked really hard in the run up and put so much prep work into it. My theory was I do all the work now, I turn up at the event and it should run. And barring, I think the biggest admin job we've done is the matchups, and we talked a bit about this in the other sections about trying to, we made a rod for our own back by, you know, no one plays each other twice, getting the Zone Mortalis games in, and we just built a bit of a rod, made it difficult for ourselves, and trying to factor in everybody's grudges. You know, we put a post up at the start of the event and we're like, you know, grudges, and I went, right, grudges now, after that, tough shit. And of course you get to the event and it's like, I'd really love to play this guy, and it's people who don't know each other who've met at the event. You're like, I don't want to facilitate now, man. So then you're trying to bend things to get round into it, and you end up with matchups. You're like, I gotta shift that to get that there, and that was the only headache. But I mean, what's it, 20 minutes work to sort the matchups up, but you know, the event has run pretty damn smooth. Has it felt smooth? And
it has, and I think certainly the atmosphere I found was a real buzz, and people were really good at helping out. I mean, as new players such as myself to 30k, you know, nobody was very, you know, stingy with their advice. Everyone was very helpful, and I think everyone seemed to be very good at self-regulating. They knew it was a narrative event. They played to the narrative, and whether you're winning or losing, it just made sure everyone had a good game, and that was what it was all about for me. I mean, it would not be my last Heresy game. You know, it's given me a real buzz for it.
Yeah, it's the thing for me. Is like, I mean, I've been on the table, and you think, if I want to win this game, I need to do this, this, and this. And you think, but that's boring. It's like I've got to move away from you, and I've got to take my Primarch away from that unit to save him. I'm like, but that's not what it would happen. He would charge in there, and he'd take that heroic combat. And 9 times out of 10, that usually generates something more fun out of it. And you think, this will win me the game, but this will be fun for the two of us over the table. So let's do what's fun, because I've got 2.5 hours to spend with you. You know, let's have fun for 2.5 hours. You know, let's make this an enjoyable time, because again, you paid your money, you've paid your money, you've paid your time, your effort to get here. You know, why do you want to get smashed off the table in 3 turns and then spend the next 2 hours wandering around going, what are we going to do now? You know, let's make the game last 2.5 hours.
Absolutely.
Although that being said, my Ultramarine sergeants answered every challenge put their way. They died every time, but they did answer the challenge.
That's the way forward, isn't it? That's the way it should do.
So let's talk briefly about your painting then. So you've won 2 painting awards for your army, effectively, painting and hobby based. So what was your approach to building the force? I know you've been painting it and working on it for a few months now. So what were your thoughts when you started building it as a hobby project?
I just like the cut. I always start with the theme first of all, and the army, the seed of the army actually started 5 years ago for 40k when I wanted to get back to 40k.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to do Ultramarines because I've never done Ultramarines in a way I like them. The way I like the blue, I like the look. And I very quickly realised that the colour scheme I came up with was very much a Legion colour scheme and not necessarily a 40k colour scheme of the time.
Not polished and...
But I wasn't into 30k then, and I didn't really build out. So the army sat idle just as about 10 units and a Rhino and the odd commander and that. And it was only when I started getting to 30k and I was looking to this event and I was thinking, what shall I field? I thought, well, actually, it'd be a good idea to break out the Ultramarines and maybe flesh them out into a full 30k Legion. Because I like doing the blue, I like the palette, I should just press on with them. And so it just kind of grew there, and every unit I added, I just enjoyed painting, so I wanted to push myself on and just keep adding more and more and more.
Yeah, that tends to be the way it goes.
And I know with Tom, he doesn't know when to stop adding more.
My Ultramarines that were finished in February that I'm still painting more stuff for now. And that's the true sign of it. You know, the biggest thing probably, and we talk about this all the time, like, you're going to spend hours and hours of painting and time at that desk. You've got to love it. You've got to love that time. You've got to want to spend that time. So if you enjoy it, that's what you're going to put your time into.
Yeah, so we were just telling our host to be quiet. So what are your plans next for the Ultramarines then? So normally when I finish playing even just a game, let alone playing an event or something, I'm thinking, I want to buy this because I want to paint this, and this will work great with the army. Are you thinking that already? You already planning stuff?
I am and I'm not. I've got to that stage with doing the force for this event where I'm partially, I don't want to paint it blue anymore. I don't want to be doing any more Ultramarines. And also because I want to try some other legions now. So I've started a Word Bearers force, which I'm really enjoying doing, and they're very different. I've started doing a Death Guard force, again, because they're a very different painting style with the oils and so on, and I'm loving doing that. But having played this and said I'm not painting any more Ultramarines for a while, I'm looking at that Rabute model and thinking, I think I need to get my Primarch into the fight, because that's what I've been lacking.
I'd love to see what you do with that as well.
And I'm looking forward to doing it now, actually.
That could be a Twitch series, that couldn't it?
Sorry?
It could be a Twitch channel, on your Twitch channel. It could be a series of you painting the
That might be a
Primarch.
whole series on Twitch,
That's what I said, series. Yeah, you got to commit to it now.
That's the rest of 2017 and probably 2018 as well.
It's a big project, but it'll be
It's a gorgeous model to paint. I'm painting mine up. I mean, if I went at it again, I'd do things different with him now because just my painting's moved on. But I'm still proud of him.
Yeah.
And there is. It was interesting actually. Wasn't a lot of Primarchs kicking around here this weekend?
No, more super heavies.
A lot of super heavies, not quite so many Primarchs, but it's a real. If it's a legion you're passionate about, having them there, it's something. It's it's just that it feels complete then. You know, even if it's just there, and you don't always use him. That's my Primarch
in your collection, isn't it?
Yeah, it's and a beautiful model. It's a beautiful model to work with.
And it has actually been a thing that's hit home, being new to 30k, is having played the games, the force I brought was very much a vanilla force.
Yeah.
They didn't have any of the named characters, they didn't have the heroes, they didn't have their Primarch. And what became very obvious to me was 30k really springs to life when the legions are matched with their characters. It's the characters that set the story, the theme, and the abilities of the legions. So I think my Ultramarines, to bring them to life, I need to start using the characters more.
Not so much the characters sometimes, like the units can do it. You know, a squad of Suzerain or the Fundamentals Terminators or the Lock. I'd love to see what you could do with the Loctara Storm Squad.
They're built.
Are they?
I've done my own version. They're built, and they're ready for paint.
With the Breacher sets, getting all those Ultramarines Gladius power swords now, it's really good. I've got a bunch of them kicking around. I'm sitting there thinking, and it brings that flavour. I mean, the Primarch. One of the things I've talked to about when I'm talking lists with the Ultramarines is Gilliman's quite hard to take out of a force because he brings so much to an Ultramarines list. That I'm at the point now where I'm trying to build lists without him because I've played with him for a year now and stuff, and he brings so much flavour and character. So I'm looking at like, what can I, if I take the Primarch out, what can I do Ultramarines-y to bring that flavour back in? So Loctara Storm Squad I'm looking at, and I've got this Mastodon coming, and I need to build. I got the Ultramarines.
Just a little project.
Yeah, the Ultramarines that are finished. I've gone and bought a fucking Mastodon for. You know, great. You know, I've got a problem. Hi, I'm Tom, and I'm an Ultramarines addict. You know, it's good. But yeah, it's great because what you've done is you built what you actually did very well for this event is bring a force. Wasn't too complicated. You bought for your first event. You bought a force that you could play with. It's like I said, a little vanilla, but it was good. It was solid. You got your Vorax again, which is quite unusual actually. Bringing a Praevian and the Mechanicum, it's not something it's done.
That's the different element for me.
And it's nice. And now you can look at that and say, great, okay, that's got me through my first weekend of I've got a solid force. I've been able to enjoy the weekend. I enjoy the gaming. I've seen people come to their first game with a really complex army and go and struggling with all the extra rules and stuff. You've got the core of the game now, right now, I'll add in this unit and I'll bring my flavour, and you can really up the game now, up and up and up.
I was really something that was at the forefront of my mind because I knew I don't play an awful lot and it was going to be my first experience on it. I didn't want to burden myself with a lot of rules that I'd be fumbling over, and my opponent would be having a really bad game because he's just watching me going,
spending half time looking up the rules.
Yeah, and I didn't want to do that. So, like exactly as you say, I wanted to start kind of safe.
Yeah.
But The Vorax, I'm pleased you mentioned the Vorax, because the Vorax I put in because I wanted to take a twist that people hadn't seen before.
Yeah, it's definitely
and I really loved the idea of bringing some automata in there because it fitted my fluff of a Legion broken at Calth or broken at Armatura, stolen a ship. And they're bulking out their units with maybe some cybernetica.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
That's
unfamiliar.
what they can get their hands on.
That's what they've got their
this
hands
is
on.
available, we can use it. Great, get it, use it.
And they've stamped it with the Ultramarine mark, and I just like that. That was what I loved about the Praevian consoles. I thought, this is something people won't be expecting in the Zone Mortalis or in the main force. It's an outflanking unit of Vorax and an Ultramarine.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely. But because they get the Legion induction rule, being able to shoot with your Praevian, like as a marker light, and then getting the reroll once the wound on the Vorax with the
third enemy,
savage, absolute savagery.
With all those rotor cannons. So every start when they came on the board, it's the same thing. I'd step forward with the little bolt pistol with Praevian and go ping, and as soon as I hit him on his 2+, it was like, right, now we go to it with the rotor cannons, and then they go.
I'll be honest. I was playing with my Mechanicum list to build it up to 3K, and after seeing your Vorax, I was like, I want some Vorax in my list, and I've rejigged my 3K Mechanicum list to get a six squad, six killbots in there, because being Mechanicum, I can give them Paragon of Metal so they can run on their own then.
Yeah.
So they're in there, they got Paragon of Metal, and they're just going to outflank him with 6 rotor cannons, and she's like, I love them.
And then you can get a Praevian and you can use them with the Ultras.
Yeah, that's exactly. They thought, I can get a Praevian and I can run my Vorax with them as well. So I've been on the wrong end of Dunk's Iron Hands Vorax a couple of times, and they are tasty. So. That's great. So I think we're going to probably wrap up because we've got some packing up to do and stuff.
Certainly have.
Do you want to give your Twitch channel and your blogger shout out, Carl?
Yeah, for sure. So my blog is studiodropship.co.uk, and the Twitch channel is exactly by the same name, Studio Dropship.
Yeah, definitely go check it out. I mean, we've mentioned, I think if you've listened to a couple of shows, you'll have heard us mention you.
We've given you a shout out a bit before. Definitely, you're basing on video on your YouTube, which is really worth watching for people interested in improving your basing. We were talking about it in a previous segment, so well worth watch.
I need to go and check that. I've got it marked to go back and watch because basing is one of the things I know I need to step up with, so I've got that bookmark to go and have a look at. And
I can definitely help you with that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sat between a man who used to run a resin basing company and Carl who smashes amazing bases out. If I can't get basing right, I'm a bit screwed. So, no, I really appreciate it, guy. I'm fucking ruined. To put it politely. I'm going to go and crawl up under a chair, get in the fetal position and go to sleep for a week.
Yeah, I think that will be the last you hear of us from this episode. We'll leave you with the closing fluff from the event, and maybe a tune if I can jog Tom enough to pick one. And
can we put what's the what is it good for? Can we put that on the end?
If you can tell me who it's by, then
I'll find it. I'll find it. I'll make it happen. I'll talk to Chip. He'll know. He knows camp.
So back to normal show format from next episode. And probably some chat about Ruination in that one.
And
some other shit.
That'll be
yet to be decided.
Take it easy, guys. We'll catch you soon.